Hi, friends, and welcome in to the firm of Harris and Marang. My name is Patrick Harris. That guy's not here today. That's Casey Smith over there on the ones and twos. Danny with the mud bud at home. So he no está aquí. Although it was really funny. Yesterday he was in and he was like, I don't feel so great, guys. Just a heads up. I think the brand man looked at him and was like, who gets sick in the summer? And then I heard Sprague say it to him later. Who gets sick in the summer?
Who does get sick in the summer?
No kidding, dude. I think being sick at home, if you are, like, let's say you've got a place without central air, okay? You've got a place without central air, which is a very common thing, definitely in Paris. If you are sick in the summer and your house is an oven, that's got to be one of the worst situations to be in. Like, you're already sweating profusely, you're already hot because you're sick, and the inside of your house is 89 degrees.
I just had a coughing attack in here that Sprague just witnessed because I just wrong piped myself, but
we all got COVID now.
Yeah, I guess we're all dying.
And that's what I wanted to say to that idiot yesterday. Like, if you don't feel good, why are you in here? Sharing my air.
Why doesn't he wash his hands with it? Why doesn't he Lysol the stuff around him
Right?
when he leaves?
Come on.
There's a thing of Lysol wipes right in front of me. You'd think he'd wipe down his desk right before he leaves.
Those are Clorox, sir. Get your
enough.
brands correct.
I can't really see it.
It is facing me. That is a fair point. Hi, Casey. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How you doing, boss?
I'm okay. It's Wednesday. It's a free day with no World Cup, so we're just chilling.
That means it's my nap day.
Yeah, my wife is very, very stoked about that.
That's a good calm before the storm again.
However, we have some situations a-brewing, Mr. Smith.
Oh, do tell.
The wife leaves tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. to go to Boston and Portland, Maine with her father for 10 days. It's just me and the dog. Kids are at their dad's. We're in trouble. I have no idea how this is going to go because I have slowed down a lot in my old days, and usually when I am up to my own business, I can be sometimes a little destructive. I think I've gotten to the point where I'm less destructive now, but less productive. Because I think when I was being destructive, I could always like get a bunch of stuff done because you're like feel that guilt in you about being destructive. So you're like, all right, I've got like 35 chores I'll just knock out in one day, and the wife will come home and I'll be the hero. Now I'm less destructive, so I don't know how much stuff I'm going to get done.
I feel like you're going to get a lot more done than you think you will.
I hope so, and I think the dog is going to be a huge help for me.
That'll probably keep you grounded a little bit.
Because it's got to keep me home more than I want to be. And that's great. Now, the problem is going to come by when we get to, like, the weekend, okay?
Well, the weekend's the weekend. You got to earn your weekend, though.
Saturday, there's a World Cup game at 2 and a World Cup game at 6. Buddy, you know what I'm going to be doing.
Foot up on the couch, cranking the tunage, and...
Oh, I'm probably at the bar.
Oh, well, there you go.
Oh, I'm probably at the bar.
No home drinking this weekend.
No.
You're going to be too lonely, that's why.
I prefer to drink alone in a bar than alone at home. Like, I will sit at a bar by myself. I got no issue with that.
I can get down
Doom
with that.
scroll, watch something on the tube. I can do all that. That's not a problem. Sitting at home and drinking by myself is just kind of lonely.
That's one of my favorite things to do when I'm watching movies is just crack a drink and then go, let's see how many drinks I can kill before this movie ends.
Maybe I will do that. Maybe I'll catch up on some tube.
There's a lot of good movies out.
I was watching a ton of Westerns there for a while. Maybe I could get back into that.
Well, 310 to Yuma?
Which one?
Well, the OG, of course.
Okay. I think I own the OG on DVD somewhere.
Who's even in the
OG?
No. Who's even in the remake?
Oh, the remake, I think, is Christian Bale and Russell Crowe.
That's not bad.
I think. Boom, nailed it.
You can put it on the board.
So I might go back and do some more of that. I don't know. My garage really needs to get cleaned.
Again, not a bad idea. Crack a few drinks. Again, you have all the record player. You've got the music set up.
That is true.
Just let let the freak flag fly and just play the tunes as loud as you possibly can until the neighbors come knocking.
I do need to upload my discography into my Discogs account because every time I go to the record store, I see something, I'm like, do I own this? I don't remember if I own this. And then I don't buy it. Then I get home and I'm like, damn it, I don't own it.
What's the Discogs?
So Discogs is a website that lets you catalog your collections,
Ooh.
CDs, tapes, vinyl, and it's also a market. And it's also a price guide. So like a lot of great record stores use it as their price guide. So you can put in the serial number, so it'll tell you if it's a first print, a reissue, second, third, fourth reissue, repressing, whatever it might be. And then it will tell you, based on the condition of it, mint, very good plus, very good, and so forth. Then it will tell you, okay, this is worth $5, this is worth $35, this is worth $275. And then also if you're looking for something, if you're like, man, I really love this record and I can't find it anywhere, you can go on that website and find one for $5, $35, $150, depending on how high quality you want.
I like the sound of this.
It's really cool.
Put me onto this.
All right, it's really cool. I really, really, really need to put mine in there. And you can separate them. You can create multiple collections, so I can separate them between vinyl and cassette and reels.
Interesting. I like that. Mm-hmm. Put me onto that.
It's really cool. The only issue with it is if you have, let's say you have Billie Holiday. Okay, if you have Billie Holiday, it's under B, not H.
Oh, okay. So the way that it's sorted is just a little bit.
Bob Dylan is under B because the artist is called Bob Dylan. Mm-hmm. His name is Dylan, Bob.
Yeah.
But the artist is Bob Dylan. So it led me to that conversation of because he is in the D's in my collection, but in the Discogs he's in the B's. Do I make my library
your collection
look like that? Because I can't make Discogs match my collection. It's kind of like forcing the issue here.
I think you might have to match your collection.
I think I'm going to, and I think I've been thinking about it. I haven't done it yet, but I think once I'm done with everything, I will go through, and I think I'm going to redo it.
And again, this is what you have to do when you have nothing but time this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing but time and soccer to watch.
Nothing but time, except for Saturday. Saturday, I'm busy. Tomorrow, 1 o'clock is going to be great. France, Morocco. We are going to rank the 8 teams left in the tourney later on today.
I like the sound of that.
Sunday, there is no footy either. So Sunday is going to be the day that I get a lot of S done. Although the Thorns are on Sunday at 1, which you can catch right here on the home of the Thorns. Yeah, dude, it's going to be trouble.
I feel like you with an empty house might be a little bit too dangerous.
Yep. Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around.
Again, destructive. Let's switch that around and be a little bit constructive.
Yes. I agree. Well, the good news is tomorrow I have to take her to the airport at like 5 in the morning. So I'm going to be up and ready to go. Hopefully the orangutan is back and we'll take on this show.
That'll keep you honest for at least a few hours.
Keep me honest that day. The game tomorrow's at 1, so I'm going to get done here, and I haven't decided if I'm going to watch here or run to a bar real quick to watch the game. And then I will go home because I got to take care of the dog, and that'll keep me probably home for tomorrow night. So I've got tomorrow planned. Outside of that, dude, we're in probably big trouble.
I'm trying to see what your Guardians are up to this weekend as well. See if you can catch yourself a good matchup. But yeah, you got the Twins. It's an okay series.
Dude, I haven't watched baseball in days.
You might have to get back into it.
Yeah.
Season's catching up. The All-Star break is getting close.
It's too bad the Mariners aren't in Seattle on Sunday because I'd go up to that game. They're in Tampa, a little far.
I need that to be a victory. Tampa's starting to run away with the divisions.
Look at you. Objects in the mirror are closer than they appear.
Oh, they're directly in front of us.
I know.
It's not fun anymore.
I know. We'll have fun making fun of your Yankees today, too. It's a lot of baseball. I know. I've got baseball on the TV in here now for the first time in days. I've just been captivated. You know me, man. I like the World Game a lot. And it's kind of delivered. Yesterday was fun. I felt bad for Colombia.
I feel like my nationalism is carrying over from the World Cup because now I'm fully in on Wimbledon because Coco Gauff is the only American left, and I'm all in on
You're
Coco
all in
Gauff
on the Wimbledon
winning.
life?
Oh, 100%.
I know Danny yesterday was telling me off there, he was like, I don't get the love for Coco Gauff. She's not Serena. And I was like, nobody's saying she is.
Well, Coco Gauff just hit a serve yesterday faster than anything that Djokovic hit off the serve, so I'm going to give Coco Gauff some love.
Yeah, just let Coco be Coco. Why? That's one thing in sports that's so funny. Like, why is there got to be the next Tiger Woods?
And plus,
why is there got to be the next Michael Phelps? Why can't they just be the same?
And plus, when did Serena really become Serena? After Venus had carried the weight. Coco Gauff was 22 years old.
That's the truth.
Let her cook.
Yeah.
Let her cook.
Yeah, I never understood that, like, the next person, you know? Like, just like the next Michael. Why don't we just let Kobe be Kobe? Why don't we just let LeBron be LeBron? SGA be SGA. Ant be Ant. Not that Ant, the real Ant. Not the $12 million Ant. The 12 babies Ant. Let's be that guy. Oakley Duckley, we got a great show for you today. Solo Dolo edition, but we'll have some fun today. There's a lot of baseball to get into that we will do that in the 11 o'clock hour. We'll also talk a little bit of World Cup. We'll swing around in some college football and this NFL coach's wild ideas that I cannot get out of my head. Web gems as usual, but we'll start with a little local aspect. Pulling endorsements, putting the pressure on your constituents, from your constituents, might pay off pretty well. We'll start here in Portland when it comes to the Portland Trailblazers on 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
The new home.
10:16 here, Portland Sports Leader. Don't you forget it. We are live from the shadows of the historic Fremont Bridge. 503-864-6326 is the fan text line. She'll let you interact with us throughout the entire day. You can also slide over into the YouTubes, 1051 The Fan. That's the channel over there. Jump in the chat, but be nice to each other over there. Yesterday was a little dicey for a moment, but you all pulled it together, and I feel good about that. I'm being told that there are Rose Cup races at PIR this weekend, $10 to watch cars go. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I don't know if I'm going to do that.
I don't know if that's for me.
One thing that I did remember, though, is my car is going into the shop. I scheduled that perfectly because I have 2 cars now.
Oh, there you go. With the wife gone.
It was like, I felt really smart about that.
Now you get to burn all of her gas and leave yourself with a full tank.
There you go. You know, even though I pay for both. I love that transitional property when you're just like, oh, yeah, sorry, babe, you're out of gas. Stinks.
Oh, no. If only, what would I do?
Although her car's a hybrid, and I don't think I could, run it down in the entire time she's gone.
Got to charge it up then?
That lucky lady, her. Some news that hit across yesterday that is really kind of fascinating to me from a local standpoint. This is involving the Moda Center and the kind of sticking point the city council's on right now about not wanting to release the extra funds. This, if you aren't aware of the situation, there's about $600 million on the board ready to help renovate the Moda Center. Only $120 million is taxpayer money from the city because the state has already pushed forward. Mayor Keith Wilson has said we should use $75 million from the climate tax known as the Portland Clean Energy Community Benefits Fund to help support some of that. It seems like not a lot of money to get through, but people are putting their sticks in the mud and they're saying absolutely not. And the most recent, dare I say, victim of it is Portland City Councilor Mitch Green, who has now lost two endorsements from 2 local labor unions. It is IBEW Local 48, they are electricians, and the Ironworkers Local 49. They released a statement on Monday, this is according to Alyssa Gary from the Oregonian, that Green's hesitation to support the planned Moda Center renovation and the Bull Run water filtration project, quote, undermine union members' livelihoods. Now, I don't want to sit here and get into unions and whether or not there are benefits or not benefits. My father was a longtime representative for his local union, so I think you probably know where I stand on that. However, that's kind of what I was curious what would happen in this whole situation. When you are in office, more times out of not, you are attempting to stay in office. And to do that, you have to placate your constituents to a point. It is kind of surprising to me that Mitch Green said, quote, I'm going to face some consequences with some of my supporters, but at the end of the day, you have to vote on your values. And he added that he'll continue to support union workers regardless of the lost endorsements. It's a wild thought, amigo. You're putting your foot down and you're saying no to this, but when you start losing giant workforces and those people put money into your reelection campaign, that can be a slippery slope. That can be a slippery slope in this city. And again, I would argue you're probably not realizing the benefits that sports teams have to cities. I've said this 1,000 times, and I'll say it 1,000 times again. Look, I understand we live in a sports world. I'm fully aware that we think everyone eats, sleeps, and breathes sports.
Yeah, we do have rose-colored glasses to the situation.
Without a doubt. We think that we are the world of everything, that we put all this money, all this effort, all this time, all this enjoyment and passion into sports, and we're really just kind of a piece of the pie. We're kind of a good-sized sliver, but I wouldn't say we're half. Maybe we're half, but that still leaves you another half that's not.
Yep.
However, it is not just about basketball. It's not just about, WHL, WNBA. It's not about that. It's about the money that is driven into your city from around it. And why the city councilors in Portland don't understand that, I can't get through my head. The economic impact is too great.
Again, I just don't see what they don't see as well. It's just more of why don't you want to benefit your city? Why don't you want to make these improvements? It just does not sit right with me in the same way that, all right, we're just going to let them sit back and make decisions that affect us in every which way possible, but it affects us negatively. I'm not always with that.
This is a line from Alyssa Gary's article in the Oregonian. Green said in an interview that both the Moda Center's cost and the city's, quote, blank check approach to funding it were sticking points. It's 150. See, that's the other thing about it, is that I think these counselors feel like they're getting stuck with this $600 million thing. And again, I don't know how many times we have to say this, but like, the city owns that building. Like, you own the house. Your house needs a new roof. You got to pay for it.
Stuff is leaking.
Yeah.
Put up a bucket.
And not to mention, like, people rent your house and pay you money for it, and you make money off of it. The labor union said, quote, Councilor Green is choosing to deny the same security and benefit to working Oregonians. This is Garth Bachman of the Local 48. This is a betrayal of the working class and an unfortunate indicator of the councilor's values.
That's pretty damning.
It is damning, and I just... Look, does the Moda Center need an uplift? Yes, it needs an uplift, desperately. It desperately needs it. I've been in there, and I know it's easy for people to say, oh, no, it's fine. I go there all the time. It's great. Go anywhere else.
Go anywhere else.
I know Danny loves to say that. Like, travel, go to other places. It's when I go to T-Mobile in Seattle.
Go to Climate Pledge.
When I go to T-Mobile in Seattle and I go to that baseball stadium, it's wow. That place is so gorgeous. And I remember going to Cleveland in 2016, and the Jake was built in the 90s. It's now Progressive Field, and it's nice, but it's not as nice as T-Mobile. You can tell T-Mobile's newer. And I think that environment, those accoutrements, if you will, are kind of really awesome things to be able to have. And they're things that you can hang your city on. Also, remember when we used to be fighting to get an all-star game in this town, in the NBA? We've wanted an all-star game in this town for 30 years, and we've never had one.
Again, we want superstars to come here and love our city.
Now, I understand there's some things that are like out of their control. Like, probably need some more hotels. Like, lodging would be an issue. Traffic would be an issue.
Obviously, there's infrastructure issues that go with all of that. But just making Portland an attractive city for a high destination like this, like an all-star game, like possibly, again, an MLB all-star game, or possibly an MLB franchise. Make Portland a city that, again, people want to come to. I don't understand why this isn't just a clear decision for everyone.
And again, I don't think the dollar value is that huge. Like, you guys waste money all the time. What do you mean you can't find 120? The mayor already found 55 for you.
That's my biggest issue is again, the money that disappears is usually higher in value than the money that we need to actually put in for this stuff to get better and for it to work. What are we doing?
Go up the road, okay? Up the road from us. You know, we're under the Fremont Bridge. Up the road is Providence Park, okay? Providence Park has say what you want about soccer. This isn't even about soccer. This is just locality and events that go on over there. It is a better situation than what's over at the Moda
100%.
In terms of what's around them.
Yep.
But if you go over there for a game day, Thorns, Timbers, concert, whatever you want to choose, every single bar is packed. Takes forever to get a drink. Bathrooms are destroyed because 1,000 people are using them. Streets are filled. Traffic's a nightmare.
Again, the streets are filled with a sea of green or a sea of black and red because everyone wants to support their team.
So I can tell you, all these negatives. Oh, man, traffic's terrible. Oh, man, it takes forever to get food or drink. Oh, man, there's nowhere to sit. Oh, dude, this bathroom's disgusting. Okay, you know how much money is going into like a 7-block radius for 4 hours? That's the same situation there.
And what's the totality of the fan experience? Probably a net positive.
Without a doubt. And if you're like, why somebody on Portland City Council hasn't just looked at when you're going to get that ROI, when that return on investment is going to come back from this money, that should be the sticking point. If somebody can find the numbers, I'm no mathematician, I'm not a finance bro, but if someone can say, hey, we put in $170 million, $120 million, $150, whatever the city needs, or whatever the Moda needs for the rest from the city, whatever that number is, show me when that money will get paid off. And I'll bet you it's not far. I'll bet you we're talking probably less than 5 years. And if you're telling me my return on investment is less than 5 years, done. And then it doesn't have to happen for a while. And I get the point where it's like, oh, billionaires, they can't pay for this. And it's like, well, the billionaire doesn't own the house. You own the house.
He's renting a room.
Yes.
Part-time.
41 days a year. And if we're the 7th seed again, which we'll get into the Blazers in a moment, if we're the 7th seed again, that's 2 more games. 43 days. This isn't like I need the building for 265 of the 365 days. We're talking 43 maybe. What if the Blazers get better and they're a 4 seed? Hell, they win the first round. Okay, that's only going to add...
Still less than 50 games.
It's still less than 50 total games. I don't get it.
365 days in the year, folks.
I don't get it. And I think unfortunately the political side of it is the city is going to learn that when they voted to change the structure of the city council into its current form now, it has had some really unintended consequences, some really big ones.
Some negative ramifications for sure.
Yeah, because you're in a city that, I love this city. I don't have the same opinions as my co-host does on this city.
Again, I keep leaving this city, and I always end up coming back.
Ditto.
I love this city through and through.
Ditto. I love this city, but the city does need help right now. And guys, people on the council battling back and forth about who's right and who's wrong over a little bit of money that creates so much revenue and so much goodwill. Dude, when the Blazers were in the playoffs, I got people that don't know that I work in sports. They're like, oh, Blazers, huh? I'm like, yeah, I don't like their chances. They're like, well, but they're here. It's great, right? Denny Avdija, that guy's kind of good. And you're like, see, water cooler talk. That has to count for something. That has to be worth some fiscal dollar amount, does it not? I don't get it. This is like such a non-negotiable topic for me in the sense of like, just do it. Yep. And then spend your time dealing with real issues in the city. To the crowd out there that says, but our roads suck and our schools suck. I'm with dirt on this. Like the roads already suck and the schools already suck. This is something small you can fix and walk away. Now go focus on that other stuff. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors, and I don't know. I just think
it's genuinely something tangible for Portlanders to rest their morals on and just go, hey, at least we have this. Because when the stuff that does suck in this city starts to suck more and more, at least we can lean on the good things that are going on. That's where I stand. Because, again, life can suck sometimes. Mm-hmm. So when stuff goes awry and stuff goes, again, dark in a sense, what can we have that lifts us up? And we need to lean on that more.
I want to read some of your thoughts right here. It's unreal Portland non-Blazer fan doesn't know the stadium should and could be center of city. You build up the arena around with nice things that is safe for families to hang out, do business. It should be like Pioneer Square could be. Go to any stadium or arena that has it developed around the arena and understand how important it would be to the city. The Green Bay Packers would not be in Green Bay if they didn't do the stadium remodel. That's a good point. That's a great point. And to another texter's point, why doesn't the city offer Dundon the chance to buy the motive for less than $600 million? That's a fair point. If you don't want to fix this, then you sell the depreciating asset. You sell it to someone else and say, okay, it's now your problem. But right now, it's your problem. Do something about it. Let's talk about basketball for a change, all right? I have a theory about one Damian Lillard.
Ooh, talk to me.
That we'll discuss next. There's Casey with sports.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, some NBA free agency news as we have the day off from World Cup matches. The Detroit Pistons are trading Karis LeVert and 2 second-round picks to the Milwaukee Bucks for Taurean Prince and Gary Harris. The Memphis Grizzlies are acquiring D'Angelo Russell, a future second-round pick and a future second-round pick swap from the Washington Wizards. And as a part of a 6-team deal, not including your Blazers, the Dallas Mavericks are sending free agent forward Chris Middleton to the Washington Wizards, which includes a previously agreed-upon deal where Middleton will sign a 3-year, $17.6 million deal to rejoin Washington. Over to Wimbledon, as both men and women's singles semifinal brackets are officially set. Tomorrow at 5:30 a.m., Karolina Muchova and betting favorite Coco Gauff go head-to-head. Later in the morning, Marta Kostyuk and Linda Noskova will face off. And over in the men's bracket, with matches starting on Friday, Novak Djokovic will go up against defending champion Jannik Sinner as Arthur Ferry and Alexander Zverev will come out of the other side of the semifinal bracket. Finally, over to the WNBA as your Portland Fire are back in action tomorrow, taking on the Las Vegas Aces at home inside the Moda. Tip-off set for 7 p.m. as you can catch all of tomorrow's coverage over on 9:10 a.m. when pregame starts at 6:45. And for more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Lowercase from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Perk missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
Sports Saturday with Joe Fisher.
We'll hang out here in the Blazers for a little bit, but don't forget, Binary Brewing and The Fan have teamed up for the only Fan IPA available for a limited time. Taste the Fan with Binary Brewing's signature West Coast IPA. Go to Binary Brewing's Beaverton location and ask them about their only Fan. So good, only the Fan and Binary Brewing can pull it off. It has sweet notes of a Danny Marang Sriracha protein bowl and a Jason Sukanik half-smoked cigar. And who else smells nice? An Andy Dirt Johnson banana. Check out the IPA. I've had it. It's pretty good. Pretty solid, actually. Plus, if you go out there, you can go to Uptown Marketplace, too. Stay on that spot. That's a great spot, too. However, we do have some stuff. Yep, that'll do it for him, as Justin Verlander has announced that he will retire at the end of the season. It did just come across the board that he would be the legacy All-Star selection for the All-Star game. And I thought that was interesting because he hasn't really pitched all season. And then it comes across that he is going to retire real quickly on the career of Justin Verlander. Maybe one of the more underappreciated great pitchers of my lifetime.
Oh, 100%.
Without a doubt. I mean,
100%.
He's a Tiger, so that pisses me off because that's a rival, and then he's part of the Houston stuff, so that always gets a little messy in that aspect. But you're talking about a 2-time Cy Young winner, a pitcher who won an MVP, which is pretty tough to do.
3-time Cy Young winner.
3-time, excuse me. 3? I only see 2.
3-time.
Oh, 3, you are correct. 3-time Cy Young, but in 18 he finished second, and in 16 he finished second, and in 12 he finished second, and in 2009 he finished third.
Yeah, he's got a career record of 266 to 159 with a ERA of 3.33, and he's got 3,554 career strikeouts.
That's pretty damn good, dude. That's pretty damn good. They'll build the shrine for him. He'll go in as a Tiger. He will thank the Astros for getting him a World Series. I don't know what it is. Is he just an unlikable guy? Or am I just rooted in the bias and everyone actually appreciates him for what he is?
I think he's very appreciated.
Okay.
Again, he's on the cover of MLB 2K. I believe it's 2K11. He's very appreciated in terms of who's a pitcher that you think of when you think of all-time pitchers of this era. Justin Verlander, Clayton Kershaw.
He led the league in innings pitched 1, 2, 3, 4 times. He led the league in strikeouts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. I love in 2008 he was 11 and 17. And it's like, this guy's a bum. 3 years later he wins the Cy Young. Also, done very well in the private life.
He's done very well in the private life.
Very well in the private life.
I think that's why people don't like him. Because
he got Kate?
Because he's done very well in the private life.
Because he got Kate Upton?
People jealous. People hate.
Let me tell you this. In a world where celebrities don't really stay together a whole lot, those two have been together for a long time.
And kudos to them, because they're doing great.
They're doing just great. She's looking good. He's looking good.
And he's still out there. He's still capable of throwing 90.
Yeah, he is.
Maybe not doing it as consistently as he used to. Again, there's a former 3-time Cy Young winner.
He has only
he's still 43 years old.
He has only pitched 3.2 innings this year. He went back to Detroit, thought it'd be cool.
What was the outing?
3.2 innings, 5 earned runs, gave up a homer, 2 walks, 6 hits.
Yeah.
Looks like a 43-year-old Justin Verlander.
Time to hang it up, pal.
I know. The dude's good. The dude's really good.
He's an all-time great.
R.I.P. to Justin Verlander. I hated you, but could never truly hate you because I respect you so much. I want to ask you something about Damian Lillard. We kind of talked about this yesterday. And trying to wrap my head around this 5-guard thing, okay? Which is very difficult to do. Mm-hmm. Very difficult to do. Trying to wrap my head around this situation. Can we live in a reality where there's a very good chance that Damian Lillard plays 24 or less minutes a night?
Could be a possibility.
Because it's like
I don't see it as a possibility.
It's the only thing I can really kind of think about. You know, Danny talks about the minutes to go around for the guard position and where are you going to find them. You know, is Damian Lillard going to take off back-to-back nights? I know I may be, I don't know if I'm on an island here at the station or maybe just this show, but I am very hesitant. I do not live in the world where most Blazer fans do of like, put Damian Lillard's back next year. This is not a shot at Dame in any way, shape, or form. If anybody's going to do it, he's going to do it. My concern is that he's in his later 30s, coming off a really rough injury that we've seen kind of end guys' career after that. Look, Kobe was never the same after it. Klay Thompson hasn't been the same after it. At least like Hallie and Jason Tatum, they're younger, so they have kind of that on their side. I just can't live in the world where I'm just writing a blank check, to quote the city councilor, thinking that Damian Lillard is going to be 24-6.
I think I just live in the world where Damian Lillard has never not been that guy. He's never not been the guy.
I understand that, but at some point, you're not the guy anymore. Dude, we just talked about Justin Verlander. He's not the guy anymore. He's a bona fide Hall of Famer, first ballot. Build the shrine now.
But is Damian Lillard at the Justin Verlander point of his career? I don't think so.
He might be.
Okay.
I mean, to use Verlander as a comp, in 2021, he did not play because he had Tommy John. First time of his professional career to have Tommy John. I don't know if he did before he was in the bigs, but he only had one in Major League Baseball in 2021.
In 2021, Tommy John is a lot different than 2017 Tommy John, just because of the way that we started looking at the surgeries.
That's the truth. But in 2022, at 39 years old, he won the Cy Young and led the league in strikeouts and ERA. It's possible. It's definitely possible. Now, looking at the health structure of a body for a baseball player compared to a basketball player, oh, baby, that's apples, oranges. No doubt about it. That's apples, bananas.
I would not be surprised, again, if you just said that Justin Verlander led the league in what? The next year?
Strikeouts and ERA.
Strikeouts and ERA. If Damian Lillard leads the league in 3-point attempts made and free throw percentage, I would not be surprised in any way, shape, or form. Because he's not proven that. Again, the things that Damian Lillard has done very well is shoot the ball and go off the pick and roll.
Drive to the hoop, yeah.
I don't see that changing because you still have a Donovan Clingan, so you still have a guy that can initiate the pick and roll from the big side of it, and Damian Lillard's going to create space wherever he can create space because he's a top 5 shooter in NBA history.
And I have to believe that Joe Cronin, Micah Nori, those guys have had conversations with Damian Lillard about what he can and can't do.
Again, a top 5 shooter in NBA history we're talking about.
Yeah, but to this texter's point, 503-864-6326, this is not the same Dame that left Portland.
How is it not? The same Dame that was in Milwaukee was still 25-5.
No, but I haven't seen that guy in 2 years.
But that was also Giannis's Dame.
Understood.
That's not the Dame that we know. That's not Dame having to do and create as much as he had to. He had a guy like Giannis next to him, and he still found ways to get his buckets and get his creation, even while not bringing the ball up every time because he had a guy like Drew Holiday he had a guy like Giannis and a guy like Chris Middleton.
I get it. I hear you. And I want that as well. And as I said earlier, like, if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Damian Lillard. I just can't live in the blind faith camp on this. Which is funny because I know I can be mystery box and we laugh about that all the time. But this is one I got to see. Maybe this is my true mystery box. That it's just, I just don't know. And again, it's not anti-him. It's just.
Maybe Joe Cronin lives in that same world. Maybe Mike Nori lives in that same world too, where they don't know as well. They still know that he has the ability to shoot, but when you start moving at a slower pace, and again, Dame's not. What's the issue, I guess, that Dame has in comparison to all the other guys that had the Achilles injury? All those other guys had size.
Mm-hmm.
All those other guys are 6'5 plus, where they could, again, use their size as the ability. They're great defenders in that regard as well. So how does that change how you match things up?
And they hustled back from injury.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jason Tatum, oh, buddy. And Dame was like, nope, not doing that. Not doing that at all. To Joel's point on the YouTube, obviously not the same Dame in many ways, but once a shooter, always a shooter. I got you. I hear you.
I will always agree on that.
And that's where Danny and I differ on a lot of stuff, is that you want to use Damian Lillard as a 2-guard, do it. Make him a shooter. Make him a spot-up shooter.
But how's Dame's catch and shoot been? That's just where...
It's been great.
It's been great, but then how much are you using him in the pick-and-roll game, or is now the pick-and-roll game, is that completely Denny's game, or are we just seeing Ja take over?
That's the other question, yeah, man, is the pick-and-roll game, is Damian Lillard working with Donovan Clingan on pick-and-roll for other guys?
Is now Damian starting to drift into more of a traditional 2-guard role where he's just going back and getting buckets like, a 2-guard would? Like we saw all the 2 guards in the generation before us, the Dwayne Wades, the Kobe Bryants, and all those guys were, let me just get the ball and get a bucket.
I don't see the problem with that. But for some reason, if he's not driving to the hoop, if he's not averaging 26 a game, people are going to lose their S, and they're going to blame Micah Nori. They're going to blame Joe Cronin. And Joe Cronin deserves some blame. We can talk about that in a second. He deserves some blame on this situation. But I just don't see how Dame comes back to it. I just don't. And I think we as fans, Blazer fans in general, have to kind of understand that and live with it. It's a harsh truth, but it might be reality. And if Damian Lillard, who by all means is one of the best shooters in all-time NBA history, so let him shoot. I don't need him driving to the basket 20 times a game. That's Denny Avdia's job. That's probably going to be a little Ja Morant's job. That's going to be Shaden Sharp's job and Scoot's job off the bench. Why can't I just sit Dame out there and shoot threes all day? And if Dame can shoot threes all day, then yeah, that is 30 minutes a game. Yeah, that is 24 points a game. That sounds great to me. The idea of the superstar point guard that Damian Lillard used to be in this town, I could be wrong, and I'll be happy to be wrong. I just don't know if it's there. I don't.
I think the traditional point guard, in a sense, is getting aged out. Again, we're not seeing a lot of Chris Pauls unless you're the fastest guy in the league. And, well, after an Achilles injury, you're probably not going to be the fastest guy in the league. You're not going to be a De'Aaron Fox who collapses defenses so quickly. So how do you attack these matchups? And I think that's our biggest question is how is this offense and this roster as it sits right now, how are they going to attack teams offensively? Because defensively, well, we have 5 guards, so I have no idea how you're going to attack this.
But let's keep going on this. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, some other harsh news. I know Bleak's giving me grief on the YouTube chatter. I know I'm the usual positive person, but I'd like to be a voice of reason. We'll stick here in the Blazers next. 105.1 The Fan. I love you guys out on the text line, 503-864-6326, or over on The YouTubes, Dame isn't a superstar. It's okay, let it go. You sound demented like he's the greatest NBA player ever. He isn't and never will be. Jeez. I don't know if we need to be taking shots like that at the old Lillard. This other texter points out, I don't think anyone thinks Dame is coming back as prime Dame. I think you might be creating a straw man here. Dame at 75% is still better than a large portion of point guards who are currently playing. I agree. I just don't know if Dame comes back at 75%. That's my only question. Again, this isn't an anti-Damian Lillard thing. It is just, I got to see it.
And we've also just seen the Achilles ruin people's career.
Yeah, man, dude, I'm 5 years older than him. Obviously, in prime physical specimen that I am, just like Damian and I. We work out together. I woke up this morning, my back is all jacked. I didn't do anything. I didn't do a thing. I got more faith in Dame than me, though. This other text. Teams win, players don't. Dame doesn't play defense. That's true. Those are all facts. I don't know if that relates to him not being great. And the harsh reality of this situation, and this is what sparked the idea in my head about Damian Lillard, is I think this is the roster. I've said it before. Buckle up, guys. Get used to it. This is the team going into next year. I think I heard Sprague or Dirt say it this morning that they're going to sign like a two-way winger and say that's it, and that fills the void that we're missing there. I don't know what else is out there. If the Blazers wanted Trey Murphy, I think they would have got him by now. It's the Jaylen Brown situation.
I think so, too.
Looking back at the Jaylen Brown situation was like, hey, why don't you guys get Jaylen Brown? You got the stuff. You can do this. And then when it came out and found out what they wanted and all this negative critique around Jaylen Brown, you're like, oh, well, that makes sense. The Blazers could have if they wanted to, and they didn't. I think Trey Murphy's the same situation, and anybody else that could have, Anthony Davis, anybody else that could have been a potential candidate to land in Portland, I think it would have been done by now.
I think Joe Cronin, again, he's a guy that moves in silence. I think if he went out and tried to make a swing, he went out and made the swing, and guess what? It probably just didn't work out in his favor, so he decided, well, I'm going to probably just hold on to my assets rather than giving out more than I need to give up.
Agreed. And I think you got to start looking at the future, too. If Denny Avdia and Donovan Clingan are your future, then those draft picks might come in actually pretty handy. Because as you heard this morning on Dirt and Sprague, they had their guest on. I'm sorry, his name's blanking right now. But he was talking about, Dame can't play forever. Drew can't play forever. These guys are getting older. You got a situation this year where you need to make a decision about Scoot Henderson. How's that going to go? Eventually, you're going to need roster spots open, right?
And again, how are you going to make those assets valuable to other teams if you're not, again, allocating the minutes in the correct way?
Now,
that's the biggest worry is if you're just holding on to all five guards, okay, where are you getting value out of them?
Without a doubt. And where are the minutes for everybody else? That's why if the Blazers get back to the playoffs and they're the 7th seed and they lose and gentlemen sweep again, if you're Tom Dundon, if you're Dad, you're kind of going, hey, thanks for compiling those assets. Nice run here. I'm going to give those assets to somebody else. I think that's a very real situation. I haven't heard it from Danny. I try to talk to him about it, and he's a little gun-shy on the situation. But I think, bro, you got to win a playoff series this year, or Joe Cronin, I think, is out.
Again, from a roster standpoint, I want to try to play devil's advocate here and say that there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat, again, in terms of winning an NBA championship. If all of the NBA teams are then going bigger and everyone's going up with size, well, Mike Inoue just wants then to move with speed, wants to go with pace, wants to tire teams out so that if you're playing a full 4-quarter game, if you're playing 40 minutes with me, I'm not going to lose that battle because I'm going to tire you out. I'm going to run you all over the court. I'm going to make you turn the ball over, and I'm just going to fly around and do things at that pace. That's the way that I can see this roster working in a fourth-quarter sense.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to make sure that you're not giving up 20-point leads in the first half if that's the case.
There's also 3 ifs in that guard room, okay? These are your 3 ifs. Is Damian Lillard fully healthy?
Mm-hmm.
And not fully healthy, but able to get back to ish Dame.
Is Damian Lillard able to be 25-5? Is
Ja Morant going to hit? That is probably a bigger question than Damian Lillard, honestly. I got more faith in Damian Lillard being 75-80% of Dame as opposed to Ja hitting again. And number 3, is Scoot real? Those are your 3 questions. Hell, I'll throw in a number 4. Is Shaedon Sharpe real? So now 4 of your 5 guards, I have questions about. Now, as you've heard people on this station, interviews, and us say this as well, that's not how you build a roster. You don't build a roster out of fear. You don't have 5 guards because you're worried someone's going to get hurt or someone's not going to hit. But 4 of your 5 guards, I got questions on. And if you don't remember, Drew Holiday had some really bad turnover streaks in the regular season. Now, I think a lot of that was because the onus was put on him because of so much injuries, and he had to be a creator, a facilitator, and a scorer.
And so we will give Drew the benefit of the doubt in that regard.
Correct, I will. But outside of that, your other 4 guards, man, I got questions.
And Scoot also had those loud turnovers. And how are we seeing his game evolve more? Well, they're evolving into more loud turnovers and that he's more just a traditional scorer rather than a true creator. That's more questions.
Now, I think it's a really bad way to build a roster, and I don't think Joe Cronin built the roster that way. But to be honest, you have 5 guards with only 2 slots. I don't know who those 2 are.
And is Scoot good enough defensively to guard anyone at the wing?
No.
So now you really do need the wing because you're forcing Denny Avia to play out of, I guess, his comfortability, because then you're probably, what's happening is throwing the best defender out there on Denny.
And Shaedon ain't handling that for you either.
Nope.
So now I got one of the 5 guards I don't have questions about. One of the 5 guards plays defense, and that's the same guy. Again, I think it's a bad way to build a roster if that's your way you're looking at it. But the reality is also the reality. I got questions. Is Scoot a guy? Is Shaedon a guy? How productive can Damian Lillard be? And is Ja Morant worth it? So when you're talking about minutes, not enough minutes to go around, well, there might not be enough guys that deserve those minutes. Have we ever looked at it that way? That maybe if there's 96 minutes for 2 guards, maybe there isn't 96 minutes on the team. Or at the end of the day, it's Drew and Dame. And the rest will go figure themselves out.
It's going to be trial by fire because, well, how are we going to build this roster? Well, we're probably going to be building this roster and this lineup within the season, figuring out how dynamics work. We have, a first-year head coach, so he's probably going to want to pull strings early and figure out what works for him and what dynamic will get him to the place where he thinks this team can be.
And to Panda's point on the YouTube right here, one more thing to take into consideration. How will the locker room be with disgruntled players that don't get minutes they think they deserve? Guess how that will be. You don't get them because you don't deserve them, and if you have a problem, see you later, bye.
And that's probably going to rub people the wrong way because, again, like I said, first-year coach, he's going to pull the levers. Mm-hmm. He's going to try to figure out what's work. He's going to lean on guys that he feels like he can trust. But again, he hasn't been here long enough to know who he trusts. We haven't played a game yet. He needs to know who he can trust on this roster. That's going to get probably figured out within the first 20 games.
And you may be in a tough spot where say it Scoot's the odd man out, okay? Say he's the odd man out. He's the disgruntled one that doesn't get the minutes he wants. We're not seeing the production and the elevation from him anymore. And he walks at the end of the year. I know that sucks that he's a 3rd overall pick, but if he ain't it, he ain't it. 3rd overall pick, 2nds, 1s. They bust all the time. You know, we talked about Shaedon's deal yesterday. That's a team-friendly contract. That's why I'm willing to take a shot on him. But I don't know if I can give out another one of those. I don't know if I have the cap space. Because, again, I got Denny Avdia, Donovan Clingan in my rearview mirror of guys that are going to need contracts soon. And I don't know if I got the space for that. Hour number deuce coming up next. Let's rank the final 8 in the FIFA tournament. We'll go through some matchups real quick. As it's down to 8, that's next. Second hour, 105.1 The Fan.
From the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This sports update is brought to you by Mountaintop Metal Roofing. No maintenance, energy efficient, fire resistant, and a lifetime warranty. Do it once, do it right. Visit mountaintopmetalroofing.com. First on the Fan, some NBA free agency news as we have the day off from World Cup matches. The Detroit Pistons are trading Karis LeVert and 2 second-round picks to the Milwaukee Bucks for Taurean Prince and Gary Harris. The Memphis Grizzlies are acquiring D'Angelo Russell, a future second-round pick, and a future second-round pick swap from the Washington Wizards. And as a part of a 6-team deal, not including your Blazers, the Dallas Mavericks are sending free agent forward Chris Middleton to the Washington Wizards, where Middleton will sign a 3-year, $17.6 million deal to rejoin Washington. Over to the Wimbledon, as both men and women's singles semifinal brackets are officially set. Tomorrow at 5:30 a.m., Karolina Muchova and betting favorite Coco Gauff will go head-to-head. Later in the morning, Marta Kostyuk and Linda Noskova will face off. And over in the men's bracket, with matches starting on Friday, Novak Djokovic will go up against defending champion Jannik Sinner, as Arthur Ferry and Alexander Zverev will come out of the other side of the semifinal bracket. Some MLB news for you, as potential future Hall of Fame pitcher and oldest active player in the MLB, Justin Verlander, announced that he will retire after the 2026 season. Verlander, at age 43, is a 3-time Cy Young Award winner, winning the AL MVP back in 2011. And finally, over to the WNBA, as your Portland Fire are back in action tomorrow, taking on the Las Vegas Aces at home inside the Moda. Tip-off set for 7 p.m. as you can catch all of tomorrow's coverage over on 9:10 a.m. when pregame starts at 6:45. And for more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of the firm of Harris.
All right, hour number deuce here. If missing the first hour, you can download that, the Fan Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. 1051thefan.com, the Odyssey app over on the YouTubes. Casey usually gets the first hour of this show up in about 15 minutes. Give him some time on that. He's also carrying my lazy bum around today, too. No Marang today. He is out sick. We're hoping to have him back tomorrow, but we'll see how he does. Coming up this hour, we're going to chat a little basketball. MLB All-Star starters were announced, and thank God one guy stepped aside because I was going to scream from the heavens about that. So I have a little chat about that, plus some interesting fan graph situation about an ace pitcher in baseball who could be in trouble, plus web gems. But I want to, it's me, so I want a little World Cup action here. It's an off day, so it's a nice chance to just kind of sit back and just relax, and let's take a look at how we got here, but more importantly, let's take a look forward. We're in the final 8 teams. You have France, Morocco, Spain, Belgium, Norway, England, Argentina, Switzerland. Now, I was looking at these, and I was trying to think about, let's rank them. I don't necessarily want to do that, of who's the best, because I'm going to put Switzerland at the bottom. As far as who can win this weekend, I will put Belgium at the bottom. This isn't me being sad about them being in the United States of America. They were a lot better than they've been all tournament, and America was really bad. So I give them the benefit of the doubt on that. However, I've seen this Belgian team not be great, and I think they are running into a buzzsaw that is Spain.
And this Spain team has been nothing but great.
Yes.
They found a way to play keep away from Cristiano Ronaldo for 90 minutes, and then 2 minutes go by, and they have a goal in the 92nd.
What's Spain's biggest knock on them this tournament? They drew in their first game. Well, it turns out Cabo Verde was pretty damn good. So I'm going to give them a pass on that right now.
Oh, yeah. See what they did to Argentina a few days ago.
So I'm going to tell you, I've got Belgium at the bottom in terms of who can advance this weekend. My number 2, honestly, might be Morocco. France is flying. Morocco's been good.
But France has just been dominant in every single match.
It
has not been close.
It looks so easy for them. It looks so easy.
Again, Mbappe and Dembele have been crazy together.
They played Paraguay, and they said, oh, okay, we know how you're going to play, and they let them. And they survived it. I never thought that game was in doubt. Never. As much as I think Morocco is probably a top 4 team still alive. I think it sucks for them that they get France this early on. That's a really tough path when you go Netherlands, Canada to France, and then your winner is most likely Spain. That's a tough thing. However, it's the matchup itself. I don't like them in this game. I really thought they played really poorly against Canada. That game got turned on its head real quick out of nowhere. Let's see, that first goal was in the 50th minute. Morocco went up. They did not look good. That was a 1-0 game that Canada looked like they were going to tie, and then boom, boom, and it was over. You're looking at Argentina and Switzerland. This is where Switzerland comes in. I think they have a chance. I really do. Argentina has been messing around, no pun intended, and Messi has bailed them out. Okay, they messed around with Cabo Verde, who turned out to be a pretty damn good team. They messed around with Egypt, who turned out to be a pretty damn good team. And I think the buck might stop here. The Swiss, I watched them last night. They are so compact. They are so tight. Defensively, they are fantastic. The buck might stop there.
Argentina does play with their food a little bit. You saw it in the Cabo Verde match where, well, they were up 2 goals. Well, then they get a little bit sloppy towards the second half, and Cabo Verde then cuts it to 1.
Yeah, it kind of seems like they know Messi can bail them out, so they're just always waiting for it, and that's a dangerous way to live life.
I just think their defense gets really sloppy late in matches because I think that they take plays off. They get out to lead, and their strikers go, all right, we got a 2-0 lead, so let the midfield do the work. Let the defense do the work. Messi takes a back seat. You don't see Messi when the ball is at midfield. You don't see him being the one, I guess, to lead the charge. It's someone else that starts it and finds Messi. Messi is always just lurking in the same way that Haaland is always lurking. They're true strikers. The midfield needs to be stronger for Argentina in the second half, and their defense got bailed out a few times versus Cabo Verde, and they definitely got lucky in the second half of yesterday's
game. Totally. And then the real wild card of the whole weekend is Norway-England. I don't know what to tell you.
I know who I'm voting for, but
my heart says Norway, but my brain wants to lean towards England.
If I'm a betting man, I'm not touching this one.
Oh no, not at all.
After Norway,
my head leans England. I thought what they pulled out against Mexico was gutsy. I was very impressed with how they were able to handle that situation because that's not easy.
Harry Kane has just come alive in the last few matches where it's all right. Let's see who really wants this. And that makes this, again, that's what makes the World Cup fun is the superstars, when they come out to play and they really insert the dog into the fight, that's real. Again, that's when soccer gets fun.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is my bias because I watch the league, so I tend to kind of root for England a little bit. But I also kind of laugh and giggle when they flame out. Harry Kane, I've said this and I will still continue to say it. Now that we're in the 8 and we saw everything go down, okay? Outside of maybe the emotion I saw on Messi after beating Egypt yesterday, there is no player in this tournament that wants to win this more than Harry Kane. It's not even close
100%.
For me. Emotionally, who wants this? Who needs this? I said this yesterday or the day before, I can't remember. My buddy asked me, who's the most desperate team in the World Cup? The answer is England. I know they got one of them things, but it's been a long time. It's been 50 years, 60 years since they got one.
I think France feels that they are so dominant as a team that they're kind of walking into it with their chests puffed out in general. They feel like they should win this.
They do. Their problem is they do feel that way a lot, and then something bad happens. David Beckham in 98, red card. Wayne Rooney in 2006, red card. But what it would do is it would set up a semifinal. Let's say England wins. Let's say Argentina wins. It sets up a semifinal of England-Argentina. Those teams don't like each other. There's a lot of bad blood in there. Have you ever heard of the hand of God? That happened against them. They're not fans of Argentina. They don't like them very much. It's kind of a weird intercontinental rival or like a extra continental rivalry to think like, why would England and Argentina hate each other? Well, there's a lot of bad blood there. So that would sign me up. I mean, if we get a Final Four of France versus Spain and England versus Argentina, get the F out of here. Into my veins. Into my veins, inject that.
And as much as I love Erling Haaland, I think that would just be a better matchup for just as a viewer. I think England-Argentina is a much better matchup.
The only thing that's interesting, the other cool thing that I'll say, and then we'll get out of here about this, I think there are only two teams in this that can't win it. I don't think Belgium can win it. I don't think the Swiss have enough attacking to do it. Even though I think the Swiss can definitely beat Argentina, Argentina can win this.
You think Morocco has a better chance than
Switzerland? To win the thing? I do. The problem is that they have France early. If they get out of France, dude.
Morocco's been a really great team.
If Morocco gets out of France,
but
man.
They're walking into the buzzsaw.
That's the problem. If they get out of France, they'll be the favorite. Or England will be the favorite if they get out of Norway. I don't know. 6 out of the 8 can win it all. Don't see that a whole lot. I had Spain at the beginning of the tournament. I'll probably keep with them because I want to stick to that kind of prediction that I had. They look good. They should get through Belgium just fine. I'm not putting the Patrick Harris stamp of confidence on it because that would just be mean to them. Although if Belgium beats Spain, I'd feel a lot better about losing to Belgium from an Estados Unidas standpoint.
Make us look good.
Yeah, Final 8. Tomorrow, France, Morocco. Friday is Spain, Belgium, and then Saturday is the doubleheader, Norway, England first, Argentina, Switzerland, the night game. I'll be reared up and ready to go for Saturday. It'll be great. Let's get into this. There's a pitcher in Major League Baseball, an ace, a Cy Young multi-time guy that the stats aren't looking really nice right now. Should we panic? 105.1 The Fan and the Fan Sports Network.
The Fan.
to do a little baseball here. Bet365 presents Odyssey Sports Midsummer Baseball Showcase Special from Philadelphia, Monday, July 13th at 7 p.m. following prime time. Can't believe the All-Star game is on Tuesday. Tuesday next week. That's fantastic. Just in time for me to get back into baseball. It's crazy, man, because I love baseball. It's my number one sport. It's my true passion. And maybe it's just the drethers of late June into early July of the baseball season, the hot summer nights, the slog a little bit. I have not been up to date on it as I normally am. I mean, I know what's going on, but I haven't been watching as much as I normally do.
I think I'm more tapped in than I ever have been before.
Really?
Yeah.
That's excellent. See, Casey, this is why I love you, man. The young kid over there who wants to produce a radio show and you love baseball.
Do love me some baseball.
I'm way into that. An interesting blog, I should say. I believe technically this is a blog that came out through Fangraphs. This is Kiri Oler wrote it. And I don't want to bore you guys with a bunch of weird, nerdy baseball stats. But the reality is when you're looking at the metrics, there are some very serious concerns when it comes to one Paul Skeens. Okay? You can have down years. You can't expect guys like Skubal and Skeens to just consistently be the awesomeness that they are. However, there is some concern here legitimately. Paul Skeens' velocity has been going down every season that he's pitched in Major League Baseball. I never found him to be the biggest, what's the best way to put this? I never saw him as a Roger Clemens type fastball guy. A lot of control, a lot of strength, but kind of more a well-rounded pitcher. This year, his ERA is a balloon to a 3.58. That's after 2 seasons of a 1.96 and a 1.97. He's almost eclipsed as many hits that he gave up in 2024 this season already. Don't like that.
Don't like that.
Don't like that. His strikeout numbers are still good. He's at 123. In 2024, he had 170. You would think he eclipsed that. I don't think he's getting to 216. Well, maybe he could from 2025. The problem is what it is. It's the home runs. Some of it is the lack of defense, too. That team is not that great defensively. If I'm Pittsburgh, I toss the idea around.
Is that what he wants?
I toss the idea around of moving him. I'd think about it.
I think he's too valuable.
Understood.
I think he's genuinely too valuable, and if you move a guy like Paul Skeens, then you're in a lot of hot water with the fan base, and they're going to be begging to sell the team.
Oh, they ain't going to be pumped about that.
They already
hate the team.
They're already not too happy with the ownership, not happy with management.
Now,
this is going to push them over the edge.
Now, Braxton Ashcraft has been fantastic. Just got named as a reserve, filling in for, I don't remember who he's taking the spot. So he's going to the All-Star game. Okay. Mitch Keller, solid veteran.
Yep.
Jared Jones, we'll see. A kid with potential, but we'll see. He's had some injury issues. And Bubba Chandler's your next stud.
Mm-hmm.
Can you survive in a world where you get rid of Paul Skeens and bring in a boatload for him? Probably. I think that's why you lean on it. You got Bubba Chandler coming. If you like Braxton Ashcraft, that's 2 guys. Obviously, 3 would be better than 2. But if the velo continues to tick down, and when does that elbow need a little talking to?
I just think that if you get rid of him, then you're looking down the line going, okay, I think we're one arm away from being the team that we need. So you're saying that you're one Paul Skeens away from. So you're saying that again in the Blazers situation that we're in, we're one Jeremy Grant away from being in this situation?
Yes. Yeah, okay. Don't create a new problem.
Don't create a new problem
using what the new problem is. That's a fair point.
Yeah.
That's a fair point.
I think the Pittsburgh Pirates need a lot more. They need better production out of their stars. Again, O'Neal's not having as good of a year. Ryan O'Hearn is picking up over the last few days. If you haven't seen it, he's having a nice little stretch.
Brandon Lau's had a nice season. Spencer Horwitz has been good, but he's on the DL. Connor Griffin's the kid, but he's on the IL.
Got hurt, so I think they're a few pieces away. And if you move a guy like Paul Skeens for those few pieces, then you're going to be looking back going, all right, we're Paul Skeens away from a championship.
Also, I was laughing with Sprague and Dirt this morning in between a commercial break. Is anybody good in baseball this year? Like, who's good? What team?
Player-wise, team-wise?
Like, what team do you see right now that you look at and watch them and go, that team's good?
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay?
Tampa Bay's a real good team. I mean, the Dodgers are always going to be in that contention.
Sure. I'll contend the Brewers. I think the Brewers are good.
Brew Crew are always decent, again, but how much of that is going to be Pat Murphy carrying them as far as they're going to go, and then their talent dribbles out? And
yep.
Again, Mizorowski's Mizorowski. Mizorowski's also given up a lot of home runs lately.
Same old story in Milwaukee, all right? Look, the Braves decimated in that starting rotation. That starting rotation is just taking so many hits in the starting pitching. The Phillies have turned it around, but let's not act like they've been amazing. They were amazing after Rob Thompson got fired, but I don't know if they're that great.
I mean, the Phillies are on an absolute run right now. They're still 2 games out of first place
with a minus run differential.
Because Atlanta's doing some very fun things. Did you see what Matt Olson did the other night?
No, but I know he's raking this year.
I need you to just take a listen.
Olsen heard country roads and he
Goodness.
hit a country mile.
I'm getting chills now.
Me too. Did you hear the crack of that bat?
Matt Olson to country roads hits that ball a country mile. Atlanta's a fun team to watch right now. And they're doing stuff like that.
And that is a good old country white boy, Matt Olson. Just big dude that swings a heavy bat.
And how much of that is also carrying over from what the World Cup has got going on, too?
Oh, true. The juice is there. Plus, it's in Atlanta. A lot of games in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. You're feeling it. Looking around the rest of baseball, I mean, you're spot on, dude. The Blue Jays stink. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. They have some real offensive issues, and we'll get to one of those in a moment here. My Guardians, we're hanging on, but we're not any good without Jose Ramirez. The White Sox...
Our teams are very much in the same boat where our best player is not playing, and we're still reachable in first place.
I made the joke that my team scores 1.3 runs a game, and Jose Ramirez averages 0.9 RBIs a game.
Home run pitch.
So it's like we're hanging on. The White Sox are an awesome story, okay? Despise the franchise. Probably my number one hate. It's either them or Detroit, but it's probably Chicago. Despise that franchise. They have been really fun this year and really good. They're not winning a World Series. No. They're not. But
if
Seattle,
they beat the Yankees in a wild card, I might have an issue.
Seattle Mariners, up and down, some injuries. Is Cal good? I don't know. Randy's going to the All-Star game, but no pitchers are. I don't know. Not the team I was sold on. Dodgers are good, but Dodgers are always good.
And Dodgers have a 60-33 record. Their records at home and away are identical.
Oh, because they're just good.
They just play good baseball.
With a plus 163. Yeah, that's good enough for the best in baseball.
And they're only getting better because they're probably going to find someone at the deadline.
They are only getting better. Let's stick in some baseball here as all-star rosters have been released. Starters voted on by the fans. And you know what, fans? You're going to lose this privilege if you don't watch yourself. There's Casey over there with sports.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, some NBA free agency news as we have the day off from World Cup matches. The Detroit Pistons are trading Karis LeVert and 2 second-round picks to the Milwaukee Bucks for Taurean Prince and Gary Harris. The Memphis Grizzlies are acquiring D'Angelo Russell, a future second-round pick, and a future second-round pick swap from the Washington Wizards. And as a part of a 6-team deal, not including the Blazers, the Dallas Mavericks are sending free agent forward Chris Middleton to the Washington Wizards, which includes, as Middleton will sign a 3-year, $17.6 million deal to rejoin Washington. Over to Wimbledon, as both the men and women's singles semifinal bracket is officially set. Tomorrow at 5:30 a.m., Carolina Muchova and betting favorite Coco Gauff will go head-to-head. Later in the morning, Marta Katsiuk and Linda Noskova will face off. And over in the men's bracket with matches starting on Friday, Novak Djokovic will go up against defending champion Jannik Sinner, as Arthur Ferry and Alexander Zverev will come out of the other side of the semifinal bracket. Some MLB news for you, as potential future Hall of Fame pitcher and oldest active player in the MLB, Justin Verlander, announced that he will retire after the 2026 season. Verlander, at age 43, is a three-time Cy Young Award winner, winning the AL MVP back in 2011. And finally, over to the WNBA, as your Portland Fire are back in action tomorrow, taking on the Las Vegas Aces at home inside the Moda. Tip-off set for 7 p.m. as you can catch all of tomorrow's coverage over on 9:10 a.m. when pregame starts at 6:45. And for more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
The Fan is live on YouTube and Twitch.
Talking about Major League Baseball, the All-Star Game has been announced. Some really cool names that made the list this year of some really great players. This happens all the time. I know it does. But this one really, really kind of grinded my gears a little bit. We all know that the Canadians love to come out in force and vote 1,000 times a day for their players. Thank God they only got 2 of them in this year. But one of them, I'm looking at you, Vladdy Guerrero Jr. Look, we're all Vladdy fans. I don't know many people that think he's not good. He's extremely likable. He's fun to watch. The talent is through the roof. He's having a terrible season, an absolutely atrocious season. And getting the nod to play first base in the All-Star game is a slap in the face.
The disrespect to my boy, I should be wearing my Japan jersey right now.
Well, Murakami.
The disrespect is crazy.
Murakami would have been a better choice for me.
Also hurt, though.
Also hurt. Ben Rice is having a great year, but dude, the answer to me is without a doubt, it's Nick Kurtz. Like, Kurtz should be the starter, and fortunately, he is going to be. Vladdy has stepped away.
And they did get it right.
They did get it right, and I think Vladdy says he accepts it because I'm sure there's some contract incentives.
They got it right, but they didn't get it Rice.
You can put it on the board.
So it is fun that these things have a way of finishing themselves out. Look, Aaron Judge has been hurt, and the popularity contest stuff, it doesn't bother me as much. It's when it gets really egregious that I have issues with it. Yordan Alvarez as a DH, don't have an issue with that, having a monster season. Aaron Judge, hurt, still don't have an issue with him being the starter because he's not going to start. He's not going to play. He might be there, but he's not going to play.
Plus, he's also the head of the union right now.
Yeah,
so
he's the face.
He's the guy. He's
Team
Captain
USA.
Captain America.
Yeah, Team USA, the Yankees. I love seeing Mike Trout back in an All-Star game. He's been fantastic this year.
He's having a stellar year, and I think baseball is better for it when Mike Trout is playing good ball.
Without a doubt. And shout out, dare I say, climbing up the charts for the MVP race in the American League, Junior Caminero.
Without a doubt.
11 games in a row with a home run.
Again, Tampa Bay is on fire because of him.
He is playing so well right now.
Got his team in first place.
And, again, Bobby Witt, look, Kansas City has been bad. Bobby's been pretty good this year. He had a slow start, but he's really picked it up of late. Again, when it's Judge and Bobby Witt, and hell, even if Trout wasn't having that great of a season, but by his standards, but still a pretty good one, I don't mind the popularity contest. I get it. It's what the fans want to see. I totally understand that. It's when things are as egregious as they are. Some guys having not his best year. Let me pull up Vladdy Guerrero's numbers, okay? And I love Vladdy. I love Vladdy a ton. He's fantastic. And not to bring fantasy into it, but to bring fantasy into it, I just traded him in a keeper league because I'm over this. He's batting .263. He's got 4 home runs, 35 RBIs. In 2021, he had 48 home runs. Last year, he had 23. His power has dipped since then, but you're looking 323, 292 batting averages. He's just not been good. His OPS is under 700. That's not okay. That's not okay for a guy like Vladdy. So for him to sit out, that makes me feel a lot better because Nick Kurtz will get the start. Run you quickly through some American League guys. Adley Rutschman. Go Beavers. He's in. Your guy, Ben Rice. Oh, who's the backup second baseman there for Ernie Clement? Go Beavers. Well, that'd be Travis Bazzana, baby, from my Cleveland Guardians. We're going to play that offensive line. We're going to recruit here. We're going to get people come Corvallis, open Cajun restaurant, Go Beavers.
I love that. I got the chance to interview Travis back when I used to cover games for Oregon State down at KBVR. He is such a nice dude.
Awesome. I love hearing that.
Such a nice dude.
I love hearing that.
He's a dude that you want to kick it with.
And I know every team, you have to have somebody represent every team. He's not the only Guardian. So, he earned this because Cade Smith's in and so's Parker Messick. Those guys earned it as well. But to know that Travis Bazzana is not the only rep of that team tells you, Oregon State fans out there, your boy's playing really good baseball right now. And me, as a Guardians fan, I'm reaping the benefits for it. Kevin McGonigal, another young superstar kid who's going to be just amazing, shortstop for the Tigers. He also makes it. Your boy Cody Bellinger is in. Miguel Vargas, who's been kind of one of the engines of your Murakami White Sox, he got in third base. It's weird to see no Jose Ramirez in the All-Star game, but we survived. There's your Mariner, Randy Arozarena, the only Mariner on the roster that made the All-Star game. But to be fair, I don't really think anybody on the Mariners has played All-Star level. Logan Gilbert's been good. Emerson Hancock's been good. Outside of that, maybe Cole Young. I could have seen Cole Young maybe sneak in second base. But Bazzana's having a better season than him.
I really want to hate on Ernie Clement. He's having a fantastic year.
I have no issue with Ernie Clement being in the All-Star game.
I want to hate on him because of how he did the Mariners and also my Yankees. But golly,
I know
298, 23 doubles, 30 RBIs. I mean, he's only got 34 strikeouts. He's having a great year.
The interesting thing will be who starts for the American League. Dylan Cease is on the roster. Parker Messick has been great. Drew Rasmussen has been great. Cam Schlittler has been great. Had a couple bumpy starts.
Good one, Sid.
But he's been really, really good. Ranger Suarez for the Red Sox. I don't know. I don't know what you're going to do.
I bet you start out by throwing the lefty and then work your way just through all the right-handers.
That's what I would
and
think,
probably
too.
finish with the Ranger.
That's what I would think so, too. Your National League, your starters, Drake Baldwin. Fantastic year. Go get him, buddy. Freddie Freeman at first. Sure, it's Freddie. Ozzie Albies having a bounce-back year. Last year was really, really rough for him. I love seeing C.J. Abrams from the Nationals get the start, although I think they got it wrong on which Washington Nationals should be the starter.
I'm going to disagree with you on that one. C.J. Abrams is having a great year. James Woods, again, there's no doubt about it, but James Woods is not better than Juan Soto.
I know. That's what makes it tough.
That's what makes it tough.
Andy Pajes, give me a break.
He's having a great year.
I'm just joking. He's been great.
He's having a great year. It sucks, though, because when the Dodgers have 4 guys in the starting lineup, that just shows you.
Brandon Marsh in the outfield, the second coming. Second coming of Jason Worth right there. And, yeah, Juan Soto, the best guy in baseball. And Oshak, who's that DH? What's that guy's name? Shohei Ohtani? Oh, Shohei Ohtani. Yeah.
Yeah, he's good at baseball.
He's good. He's good. Although it's going to be interesting for them. You know, Matt Olson is a backup. Bryce Harper got the legacy spot. Otto Lopez has had a great year for the Marlins. Sal Stewart's had a great year for the Reds.
What I do love about Shohei in the All-Star game is Shohei being a DH, so it allows more pitchers to get their first nod.
Agreed. And they won't throw him. I bet you he already told me. He's like, you can't throw me.
Yeah.
Jordan Walker, James Woods, those are really nice backups, reserves in the outfield. Kyle Schwarber as the backup DH, which is so shocking. Kyle Schwarber is dominating this season.
I would say
and it's still Shohei.
He's probably the best bat in baseball right now. He has a lot of strikeouts, but when that dude makes contact, that ball's gone.
He might win the MVP this year. It might actually go to him.
You think?
It might. It just depends if Shohei does pitching and if his hitting comes along a little more. It's Shohei's to lose always.
I don't know. The NL's been very good. Jordan Walker's having a really good year. I wouldn't be surprised if Bryce picks it up towards the playoff push. PCA is having a monster year.
Monster year.
This lineup's legit.
I like the National League.
Matt Olson, too.
I like the National League a lot.
There's a lot of dudes it could be.
The real question will be who starts for the National League because Mizorowski is not going to the game.
Yoshinobu
Yamamoto.
Yeah, you want people in the stands, you start Yoshi.
I'm okay with that. I am okay with that. The game's in Philly. They could go Christopher Sanchez.
Or you let Chris Sale do it because how many more does Chris Sale have left?
This is probably Chris Sale's last. Yeah.
Would not be surprised if they throw Skeens or I wouldn't be surprised if they go young guys, but I think this is going to be a Chris Sale. Let Chris Sale throw the final 2 innings of this game, and NL probably wins it, 5-2?
Did you see the Zach Wheeler stuff?
Yes and no.
He called it a joke, basically, and he said, I thought you've had enough of these things to figure it out, because he has like an under 2.5 ERA and didn't make the squad, especially after like the blood clot thing in his shoulder. That could have like killed him.
Who does he have better numbers than?
A lot of people. He has better numbers than Paul Skeens, and he's on the team.
Well, there you go.
He has better numbers than Logan Webb.
So yeah, Zach Wheeler should be in it.
Yeah. I think he got kind of robbed there. I mean, Eduardo Rodriguez has been a cool start to the. But I mean, as far as like who's better, I'm gonna go Zach Wheeler. Somebody telling me they did name Skeens the starter. Did they name starters? Starting pitchers in the All-Star game. Nothing like real time. Nope, I haven't seen anything yet. Verlander on the squad as the legacy pick. As we broke earlier, he will be the legacy pick as he is going to retire at the end of the season and sail off into the sunset. All-Star coverage on The Fan is presented by Xfinity. Score the most reliable Wi-Fi. One price, 5 years, guaranteed. Xfinity. Imagine that. Web Gems is next. Everybody's favorite. 105.1 The Fan.
The biggest,
Alrighty, everybody's favorite web gems do it every single day at 11:45. Also let you know, coming up in the big nooner, we'll circle back on the pressure on city councils and what that means for the Mona Center deal to come through. A little college football action as one coach says he wants to stay there for the rest of his life, and an NFL coach who we might need to ask if there's other people in the room with him, because these stories that keep coming out about Sean Payton are getting weirder and weirder and weirder. But to finish up our little baseball hour here, we mentioned the great Aaron Judge. I told you about Cam Schlittler being great. Cody Bellinger making the All-Star team. Outside of those three dudes, amigo, your Yankees are pretty darn tootin' terrible, my man.
Oh, no! We suck again!
Oh, yeah, they've been bad.
And if you think it can get worse, it can get worse.
Snapped a 7-game losing streak only to do what?
17 strikeouts in back-to-back games.
That's so fun to watch.
The errors were one thing. This is a whole nother thing.
And who are the errors on, Patrick?
Is it really?
Number 2.
The future successor of the great Derek Jeter?
It hurts my body to watch Anthony Volpe play baseball.
And I don't get it, dude. Look, not having Judge is tough. He's the engine that drives everybody in that team.
But it's also that Austin Wells is having a very, very bad year, and we used to crucify Gary Sanchez for having better numbers than what Austin Wells is doing right now.
Yeah, is it just because Austin Wells has a great mustache? Or is he's bearded now,
it's because he's a very good defensive catcher, and that was the issue that we had with Gary Sanchez.
Was you can't suck at defense and at offense.
But then I just watched Gary Sanchez make great back-to-back plays last night in Detroit.
It's possible. I just think you're getting to a point with the New York Yankees that something's got to change, It's not working. You got a generational player. You got one of the all-time greats in Aaron Judge, and you're not. If Aaron Judge doesn't win a World Series, find me a Yankee on his level that doesn't have a World Series.
Find me an all-time Yankee that doesn't have a World Series. You can't. It's a very tragic thing.
Maybe Don Mattingly, but where's Donnie Baseball in the pantheon of great Yankees? Kind of far down that list.
But is Donnie Matz probably just going to get a few rings on his own as a manager?
Maybe. I could see him in New York.
I could see him win one this year in Philly.
Could. And that's where it's going to have to meet. Look, I don't think the Steinbrenners are ever going to get rid of Cashman. As long as he wants to be there, I think he's kind of got that job for life. I don't think he should.
I think the boon of it all is really what's driving me nuts.
I think so, too. Eventually, this thing has got to fall off, right? Like, we are out of excuses for Aaron Boone on this situation, are we not? I know I got a Yankee fan in the YouTube chat. I'm talking to you. Give me one good reason why Aaron Boone should be the manager of this team. Give me one good reason. Because he's, good with players? Cool, well, he's clearly not holding them accountable because they continue to do the same BS every single day.
Does he sway the locker room in a way that the locker room needs to be swayed? Sure.
But are there that many problems in the locker room that you're willing to give up everything else for Aaron Boone?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Is the Yankee locker room that toxic that Aaron Boone needs to be the deciding factor week in and week out, that he's the guy that dictates the tempo, he's the metronome? I don't see that.
And you can't tell me that there's nobody else out there that could do that.
It has to be that the fact that it's a player-led locker room, because it's always been. The Yankees are they're professional in that sense. It's a player-led locker room. So the players need to step up, and someone needs to tell Anthony Volpe to pack his stuff.
Is Aaron Judge that much of a deciding factor too? Is him?
I think when he's playing, he is the deciding factor, but when he's not playing, I think that's when you expect other guys to step up. And they're not right now.
But I mean in the sense, is he the driving factor in keeping Boone? Does he really like Boone? Are the Steinbrenners asking him? Is Cashman asking him, what do you think about this? Is this part of the hidden details in the contract of getting him to come back to New York? Or it's not just the C, it's like you got say too?
Is everything getting put on his plate to a point where he needs to delegate to a guy who can understand him as well? Otherwise, Cashman or Steinbrenner is going to bring in a guy that maybe moves the locker room in a way that they don't want it.
Yeah, and I also think it's what happens when you hire former players and TV people. It can work out. Craig Counsell's pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
Donnie Baseball is pretty damn good in my opinion.
Yep.
But then there are issues like Aaron Boone. As this texter is saying, everything you're saying sounds like Dan Wilson, Mariners manager. I have some issues with Dan Wilson.
Dan Wilson's pulling a lot of levers in the same way that Aaron Boone is not.
Because I'll tell you what, as much as Mariner fans love Dan Wilson, one of the GOATs up in the Ring of Honor in Mariners history, you know who doesn't care about Dan Wilson? Randy Arozarena, Julio Rodriguez. They don't know Dan Wilson. We know Dan Wilson because we grew up in the Northwest.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what allegiance when you start aligning your managers with your fan base for vibes? I don't think that's a good idea. I think Chauncey was a lot of that too.
I think so too.
A lot of people are like, Chauncey Billups, sweet. I grew up watching that guy, and it's like, cool. Then you watch him coach, and you're like, I'm out, dog.
And I think that's exactly what it is we went from Joe Girardi, who were like, oh, my God, get this guy out of here.
But Joe was great for a while.
Joe was great for a while, but that dried up pretty quickly at the end.
Mm-hmm. And they had to. And they kind of kicked him to the curb. It was kind of insulting to a guy.
It was very insulting.
Who won a World Series as a player and as a manager in
Joe
pinstripes.
Girardi was very loved, and it made it seem by the actions of the organization that we didn't love Joe Girardi.
Right.
And again,
And it was proved because he got to Philly and they hated him quickly.
I talk with rose-colored glasses a little bit because, well, you went to Philly, and that's my brother's team, so I can't love that. So,
but you can't build your organizations from a coaching standpoint around people you love because they've got names. Because then this happens.
I do the best I can and let the chips fall where they may.
And you're like, that guy's in jail now.
Well, and the chips are falling for Volpe, and the reason I think Aaron Boone just likes his guys. He's pulling levers, and I think he's just leaning on guys that don't need to be given as much run. Anthony Volpe and Austin Wells have been given unlimited run. They have more plate appearances than any other player in MLB history with as bad as stats as they have.
Alex Cora got fired in Boston. They loved him so much that when he had to get fired, they rehired him after a year.
So you're telling me that again, all the stuff and all the other stuff that came out about Alex Cora, on the team bus and team planes, doing this, that, and the other, is that really what the deciding factor has to be for Aaron Boone? He has to be an a-hole in the locker room?
Especially because you are the New York Yankees. Go get Kevin Cash out of Tampa. Go get Pat Murphy out of Milwaukee. Go get Torey Lovolo out of Arizona.
Get Pat Murphy.
There are
I know
so
that
many
New Yorkers will probably think he's a goober, but guess what? You might need a goober because you've had a-holes for the past two managers.
There are so many great managers out there that you could get to land in New York City. It can't be that we're so sold on Aaron Boone that I couldn't possibly think about going somewhere else. I just named Don Mattingly, Kevin Cash, Pat Murphy, Torey Lovolo. All four of those dudes would be upgrades, without a doubt. Can you go get AJ Hinch out of Detroit?
Why wouldn't
Does he
you
not
want
like
to be
what
the
Detroit's?
manager to be a part of the guy who's probably going to hit 600 career home runs?
I have no idea. You be the guy that gets Aaron Judge's World Series title. That sounds great.
It makes no sense to me how the Yankees get away with making poor decision after poor decision.
Well,
in the locker room.
Well, I think some of it too, and I might be opening up a can of worms here, but I think some of it too is also Nepo owners are not always the best. Because the boys, Hank and Hal, R.I.P., the one of them, they don't love baseball the way Dad did.
But I think they have assembled a roster of elite talent. That's where I don't have an issue with them, is the talent that we've seen come through the organization.
That's where
can all play.
That's where Cashman keeps his job.
They can play. These are guys that can play. Again, a guy like Jason Dominguez, a guy like Jose Caballero. These are guys that can play. What I have an issue is when the manager gets a hold of the team and he goes, all right, let me pull the strings in the way that I need to pull the strings. And Anthony Volpe starts every game at short.
I'm not a Jazz guy, but Jazz is good.
Jazz is a serviceable second baseman.
Yep.
Again, look around the rest of the league in terms of what the second baseman's numbers are. Jazz is sitting in the top 10 at his position.
Also, if you can get that rotation healthy, you're talking Max Fried, Garrett Cole, Cam Schlittler, Carlos Rodon, and Will Warren. Buddy, buckle up.
Come on.
That's really good. But if you're putting bad defense around that, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Defense is something in baseball that is so often overlooked, but when you watch the playoffs, when you watch the World Series, the better defensive team most of the time wins.
It's an intangible until it becomes tangible.
Exactly. Exactly. Let's get to the big nooner. Some news locally about the Moda Center as one counselor's taken heat from some of his supporters, and will it cost him his job? But more importantly, will it change the narrative of where the Moda Center rebuild goes? Plus a little college football and a little NFL. 1 hour left. The big nooner. 105.1 The Fan.
This is the International Soccer Report, brought to you by Gold PDX on the corner of Southeast Hawthorne and 18th Avenue. Food, spirits, football.
Vargas has to score. The other Vargas has to save. This to send Switzerland through. And he does score! Ruben Vargas! And Switzerland head to Kansas City to meet Messi and Argentina.
That's Darren Fletcher on the call for Fox. God, I love him. He's been so good this World Cup as Switzerland pulls off what I would call an upset as they beat Colombia in a shootout. Colombia sent home packing. Tough for them. They're a fun team to watch. Argentina, look out. This Swiss team is sturdy, stable, and plays some nice defense. You could have a lot of problems on your hand. The International Soccer Report is brought to you by Gold PDX. Check out GOL PDX for all your tourney matches this summer. We'll be out there on the 15th doing a show live from a semifinal. Gold PDX, food, spirits, football.
Sponsored by BetMGM.
From the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, some NBA free agency news for you as we have the day off from World Cup matches as the Detroit Pistons are trading Karis LeVert and 2 second-round picks to the Milwaukee Bucks for Taurean Prince and Gary Harris. The Memphis Grizzlies are acquiring D'Angelo Russell, a future second-round pick, and a future second-round pick swap from the Washington Wizards. And as a part of a 6-team deal, not including the Blazers, the Dallas Mavericks are sending free agent forward Chris Middleton to the Washington Wizards, where Middleton will sign a 3-year, $17.6 million deal to rejoin Washington. Over to Wimbledon, as both the men and women's singles semifinal bracket is officially set. Tomorrow at 5:30 a.m., Karolina Muchova and betting favorite Coco Gauff will go head-to-head. Later in the morning, Marta Kostyuk and Linda Noskova will face off. And over in the men's bracket, with matches starting on Friday, Novak Djokovic will go up against defending champion Jannik Sinner, as Arthur Ferry and Alexander Zverev will come out of the other side of the semifinal bracket. Some MLB news for you, as potential future Hall of Famer pitcher and oldest active player in the MLB, Justin Verlander, announced that he will retire after the 2026 season. Verlander, at age 43, is a 3-time Cy Young Award winner, winning the AL MVP back in 2011. And finally, over to the WNBA, as your Portland Fire are back in action tomorrow, taking on the Las Vegas Aces at home inside the Moda. Tip-off set for 7 p.m. as you can catch all of tomorrow's coverage over on 9:10 a.m. when pregame starts at 6:45. And for more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of dirt and spray.
We made it to the big nooner here. 2 down, 1 to go. On the firm of Harris and Marang, we do this bad boy every single Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Thank you for being a part of our day. We are stoked to be a part of your day. After us, we'll turn it over to Fan Happy Hour with Luke Anderson. It's the bonus hour edition, so you get him from 1 to 3, and then prime time 3 to 7. I don't think those guys are back yet, so I don't know what Steven has planned for you guys. Maybe they'll be back. I'm not familiar with what's going on over there. I think they're like shooting a Will Ferrell movie or something cool.
They're down. They're traveling, doing some promo.
Yeah, somebody told me something, and I remember hearing about it, then I kind of forgot, and then it happens, and I don't know. I'm a little clued out from it.
I believe if they're not in today, then Steven's got a best of show for promo.
Okay, fantastic. And those guys are always great, even if it is a best of. So you can catch that finishing up 13 hours of live, local, continuous, regional sports talk radio. It starts at 6 a.m. with the best morning show in town. That's Dirt and Sprague. No Danny Marang today. He is under the weather, so we're hoping that he makes it back tomorrow. So T's and P's for old Marangatang. Coming up in this hour, we'll get to some college football notes and an NFL coach who's getting super weird. I don't know. These stories, I don't know why they're coming out, but maybe somebody's got some hit pieces. But we started the show with this situation that came around, which I think is kind of a pretty big deal, but also kind of cements some other opinions. We were talking about this article that Alyssa Gary wrote for the Oregonian, how 2 local labor unions, it is IBEW Local 48, they represent electricians, and the Iron Workers Local 49, obviously steel, iron workers, they released a statement on Monday calling Counselor Mitch Green, who has been approving the money the city needs to approve for the Moda Center renovation. They said, quote, it undermines union members' livelihoods. Counselor Green is choosing to deny the same security and benefit to working Oregonians. That's from Garth Bachman. He is of the IBEW Local 48. They're the electricians. This is a betrayal of the working class and an unfortunate indicator of the counselor's values. Now, what's interesting is that Counselor Green has kind of doubled down on his thought. I'm going to face some serious consequences with some of my supporters, but at the end of the day, you have to vote on your values. And I respect politicians that stick to their values and don't just kind of placate to everything. I truly do. However, this is a situation, amigo, you might want to placate.
Again, the placating to values, the values change every 2 years.
And what do you mean values? This isn't human interest. This isn't human rights, equal rights, dude. This is about continuing economic growth in a city that has taken some economic step back. I said this in the first hour, and I will say this a million times. I am a lot more positive about the city's makeup than my partner Danny Marang is.
Mm-hmm.
And he is allowed to have that. He's allowed to have that opinion. I disagree, but I love this city, but there is no doubt it's taken a slight step back. And if you think the idea of not spending the fifth of the amount that they need, sixth amount of the need to make this thing happen, you think that's a bad idea, buddy, I don't think you're paying attention to the large portion of the situation.
And again, similar to what you say all the time, I vacillate on this situation.
Sure.
I can sit in both fields and just go, well, yeah, this is not a fun conversation to be had.
Yeah. And if you think the idea of the Blazers leaving this town is a good idea, have fun with that. Have fun with the economic impact that will bring to this city. No professional sports teams. I don't know if there is a correlation to this, but if the Blazers were to leave, what makes Major League Baseball say that we should get a baseball team in here?
What makes any artist, comedian, again, people who come into the Moda get for the other non-41 days of the year, what makes them say that I'm going to pick Portland as a destination on the tour?
Without a doubt, you already see it's hard to get bands like the Rolling Stones here. Taylor Swift skips the stop.
We already get skipped over as a stop.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want it to happen to smaller artists, to smaller bands, to again the ones who really need to probably make their money in in cities like this because this could be their big boom? I hate that.
Now, selfishly, you want to take the Blazers. You think this is such an egregious quote blank check to write billionaires to fix a stadium that even though I own, I don't want to pay for. If you want to go that route. Selfishly, I'm a little bit like, sure, I'll be a one-trick pony in this town. I'll be the Timbers because that's a great product with a great fan base. And Merritt Paulson, pluses and minuses with him as an owner from the fan base's reaction.
Again, but we better be able to milk that for all it's worth.
But Merritt Paulson's delivered a quality product in this town. I know that there's a lot of the Army out there that have their issues with Merritt Paulson. That's well documented. I'm not going to get into that stuff. But if you want to make them the number one team in town, give it to me. You want to get the fire up the rung? Go for it. We'll take it. The economic impact, though, is too dangerous to lose. It's absolutely too dangerous to lose. That being said, when you start to hear union organizations pulling funding for re-election campaigns, pulling endorsements for re-election campaigns, that is another reason why I think this deal will get done. Why I am not worried. I am 10 toes down. This isn't the famous Patrick Harris curse of death. No, that's not that. But this is going to get done. There's too much at stake for people and their futures to not get it done.
I am all for strong-arming our politicians to actually do the work that the people of the city and the people of the state need to get done. I am always all for that.
As Bleak points out on the YouTube, politicians shouldn't be voting on their values. They are elected to vote based on their constituents' best interests.
There you go.
And if I were this Mitch Green,
and not necessarily even just the constituents, but the people who elected them, their values. That's your representative for other people's values, not necessarily. You weren't necessarily elected for your values. You're elected because you can represent the people's values.
And if I'm Mitch Green, I'm taking a real hard look at this. It's okay to change your stance, dude. It truly is. The concept that, look, everybody, as Isaac Robb says, okay, there's a promo goes around, and he's so spot on. Everybody hates billionaires. I totally get that. I don't like billionaires either. Like, what's the point? Like, what really is the difference between 240 billion and 500 billion? Not much, dude. There's really not much difference on that. I get it. Being billionaires, I'm not a fan either. I don't think they pay enough taxes. I don't think they help as much as they should, except for, ex Bezos. She does a lot of great work. However, he doesn't own it. I bet you he would buy a depreciated value, but he'd buy it from you at like 250 mil, not at 600 mil. If you don't want it, then get rid of it. It's your house. Your house, and you make money off of it.
Take care of your house.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. But again, for all those, again, we talked in the first hour about running into people that aren't big sports fans. People I run into when they find out that I work in sports media, one of the first things they ask me, they're like, "Are the Blazers really moving?" Every single one of them, no, they're not. This team's not moving. You have to remember, the NBA does not want teams relocating. Major League Baseball, the NFL, they don't like it.
They want expansion.
They would rather have expansion, and they don't want to upset an entire fan base of paying money. If the Blazers leave this town, okay, Portland is what, 22nd, 24th largest market in America? If they leave this town, what does that do to the league as a whole? Does it drop viewership by 3 to 5%? Maybe. Because this town will get so mad that they don't have the Blazers anymore that they won't watch the league in general. Remember, this town, that's what's something that is kind of unique about this town. It's actually something that frustrates me a little bit with Timbers fans and what's preventing the growth of MLS. And I can be guilty as charged as well. I need to be better about it, and I have been better about it. Timbers fans watch the Timbers, and they aren't necessarily watching MLS all the time. If you want that league to grow, you need to watch more MLS. You need to care about when Miami plays Atlanta, when LAFC plays Salt Lake. Like, you need to care about those more than just where the seating is for your team, but to develop the league. That's why the NFL is so great. We'll watch anything.
You watch every game.
The Hall of Fame game is what? It's Arizona and Carolina? Good God. Tons of people are going to watch it. So that's what you need to do. Blazer fans can be very similar. How many of you guys do I see on the YouTube chat? How many of you do I see in the text line? 503-864-6326. Die-hard Blazer fans. Don't watch anything other than Blazers. What does that do to the rest of the league? The rest of the league ain't going to stand for that.
Are we then just turning into the Sacramento Kings?
They'd still have a team. Again, I don't think this team is leaving. I would be very, very shocked. This deal is going to get done. Once labor unions start saying no more money, start saying we don't support you anymore, that's going to change. That will change everyone's tune. Because what's a politician's number one goal is to stay a politician until you make enough money through insider trading that you retire. All right, rant over. We come back. This guy wants to stay there for life. Is it a good idea? I would if I were you. 105.1 The Fan and the Fan Sports Network.
The Portland...
Getting into college football, boy, I know everyone's excited. We are like a month away from college football breathing down our necks. I mean, I'm talking like doing over-unders in the Big Ten. Talk about gambling for you degenerates out there that love gambling. I don't mind talking about it. I just don't necessarily do it. Oregon's got a huge opening week game against Boise State. I, as a Pac-12 fan, will be watching that game, rooting for Boise State. No, I don't know if I can do that. I haven't quite decided how I feel about Boise State now. I spent most of my adult life rooting from them from afar, enjoying the product, appreciating what they do. But now they're in my conference. And as a guy who grew up in the Pac-10 and was very anti a few teams in the Pac-10, kind of a little uninterested in some other ones, I don't know where I lie yet. Maybe we'll wait and see how this first year plays out. Because I don't think you can just hate a team because they're good. Maybe you can. But I don't know if I'm just going to instantly start hating Boise State. I ain't going to instantly start hating Oregon State. There's a lot of runway. There's a lot of runway for that. Because us tied together is always going to live in my brain. And understanding what we went through and what everybody forced us through. There's a lot of runway to let some stuff go.
Oh, 100%.
Between Pullman and Corvallis.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Now, that's not to say it'll never happen. It could get to a point, and I would welcome that because I would hope it would be organically. This idea that people want to tell me that I should hate Oregon State because they're my rival now. The Pac-12 wants us to be. No. I think our rival's probably going to be Boise State. I still hate UW.
And if Washington State's going to be Oregon State's rival, it's going to need to happen because of something on the field.
Without a doubt.
It can't be the politics of it all because we've all just been screwed over by the politics. So me and you can both lean on each other going, yeah, but at least we have each other.
Yep.
So again, the power of friendship gets through.
And we hug, and we kiss, and we make up, and everybody feels better about it.
I wish that I could bake a cake made out of rainbows and smiles, and we'd all eat it, be happy.
But if y'all do us dirty because of like a last-minute play, say, again, if you remember the Dez Bryant, was it a catch? Mm-hmm. If a situation like that happens out on the field, then we can start tossing some bad blood.
If you block a field goal in the last game of the season that knocks us out of the college football playoff
and just sends us to a meaningless bowl,
and then the next year it like flips and we do something to you, okay, all right, now we're going.
Again, this is going to be, if we want the rival to be organic, it's got to build up over time. We can't just start screaming at the other guy from across the pond.
Quote from this college football coach, I said this previously, I listened. I was intrigued by what the opportunity would be like in the NFL. Ultimately, I declined to interview anywhere because this is the place. I need to hear those things and talk to those teams to know I'm right where I'm supposed to be, and that's the reality. I have so much gratitude for even being intrigued for them having interest in me, but I wanted to talk to a couple teams just to say, okay, what are you looking for? What do you think is successful in the NFL? Again, it gave me an opportunity to sit down with my wife and to think and pray about it and talk about it and say, okay, we're right where we need to be, and I'm as happy and really fulfilled in the position that I hold. As I think about my future, man, the only way I think about it, I want to retire one day from here. That is head coach Marcus Freeman on his job at Notre Dame. He was on the Not Just Football with your boy Cam Hayward of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I didn't realize this. They played together at Ohio State in the late 2000s. So that's a nice little relationship there. Look, before I realized that Harbaugh was going to be an option, I thought Marcus Freeman would have been amazing at the Giants. Young, kind of college rah-rah attitude. Thought he could line them up and get them to be more professional. I really liked the idea. I think Marcus Freeman's a super bright coach. Now, Notre Dame is its own weird situation, but I think he's a really good coach.
But I remember, again, when the Steelers were in their head coaching search of Marcus Freeman could be a potential candidate.
Also would have been a great spot because he would have been there for 20 years. If you want to keep that longevity going in the classic quote-unquote Steeler way, that would have been great. Now, what I find the most interesting about this, and I don't think there are a ton of these jobs. I think there are a few of them, but we are starting to see that some coaches in college football realize that due to the money that they make, due to the operations that they run, that living in the college world and making that jump to the NFL, I don't think Nat gets your rocks off as much as it used to. Like if you tell me, if I get in a time warp, if I get in a time machine and I go 20 years into the future and you tell me Marcus Freeman's at Notre Dame, Dan Lanning's at Oregon, and Ryan Day is at Ohio State, I'm not shocked.
I'd be a little
Kirby
shocked
Smart's still at Georgia.
I'd be a little shocked about Ryan Day if it's the one championship within that time, but I'm with you there.
And I think that's where it gets tricky. Like Sark, like if they want a title so bad. You know, Ryan Day's got a little runway. Oregon's never won one, so Lanning has some runway there as well.
Runway there.
You know, Sark is in trouble. Lincoln Riley is in trouble. We'll see what Whittingham does at Michigan, but I think they understand that's going to be a slow burn.
We'll see how much of the hot seat they put Lane Kiffin on early.
That's a great point as well. But there are opportunities in the landscape to stay somewhere forever. I know Dabo can be a red ass, a pain, and be kind of a headache, and sometimes he's not evolving with the game.
But he's had 4 bad seasons back to back to back to back to back, and well, we just started thinking about if Dabo is going to have a new job somewhere.
Right. How long can Georgia hold on to Kirby Smart without winning a title before they start questioning Kirby?
It's a lot of stability because, well, without that stability, you're paying a big old buyout, which, again, makes coaches happy anyways.
There are just a few. There aren't a ton of these jobs. There's a lot more because college football is huge. You can go to the lower division and even the division below that and work your way up if you really want to. But Notre Dame is a place you can be there forever.
Again, that's a dyed-in-the-wool blue blood in college football.
I think Oregon is a place that you can be there forever. Look at Kalani Sitake at BYU. He can be there as long as he wants. You know, as long as he wants. I'm trying to think if there's anywhere else. You know, I think Kenny Dill's got a nice relationship there at Arizona State. But again, I don't know if that's a place you can stay forever. They don't have national championships. They don't have Heisman trophies. Like, they've had great players, but the expectations there are different than they are at Michigan. Mm-hmm. They're different than they are at Penn State. Look, Penn State hasn't been good for damn near most of my life.
Again, but even when Penn State isn't good, they're still graduating a lot of guys into the NFL.
And if I'm Marcus Freeman, I would stay at Notre Dame. I thought it'd be cool to see him on the sideline because I think he'd bring a lot of that, like, D'Amico Ryan, Mike Vrabel kind of energy. Plus, he's young, energetic, smart, good-looking.
Was last year's Notre Dame team a very good Notre Dame team in the terms of Notre Dame history?
Say this again?
Was Notre Dame's roster last year, or the team itself, were they very good in the pantheon of Notre Dame teams?
I think so.
I wouldn't.
No. Oh, last year specifically? No.
The year before. The year before, maybe, but the team that did not make the cut, the team that packed up their bags and said, I want to take my ball and go home, they still graduated 2 guys in the first round.
They did. And they have what some people might say is an odds-on Heisman favorite next year in C.J. Carr.
And they had a top 5 Heisman candidate this year.
And Riley Leonard, while not an NFL-style quarterback, was pretty good at Notre Dame. I think, and to Bleak's point here, also got to be something to say for these Freeman Lanning types being right at the ground floor of this obvious super conference that is going to form. They can be guys that shape with what that becomes. That's the truth, especially because you're going to want the young guys to kind of shape what you don't want. I don't know if you want the Nick Sabans to be the face, the Urban Meyers to be the face of your super conference. I don't know if you want Lane Kiffin. I don't know if you want Kirby Smart. You know, those guys got baggage. Different, but they got baggage. And I'm sure if we go digging, I'm sure Lanning's broke some rules, and I'm sure Marcus Freeman's broke some rules. It's how that game's been for the last 100 years. But as far as like what's a marketable, a sellable asset, Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame, Dan Lanning at Oregon, Ryan Day at Ohio State, Kalani Sitake at BYU. Kenny Dill at Arizona State. I can sell that. What's his butt at Texas Tech? Can't sell that anymore. That happened quickly.
Nope.
So it can fall. I can sell Kyle Whittingham at Michigan. I can sell that. Mostly because I know he is great wherever he's been.
But how much can you sell Kyle Whittingham at Michigan until Michigan sells out Kyle Whittingham?
That's the problem, is that Michigan is in such a sticky situation with that whole post-Sharon Moore and Jim Harbaugh stuff.
Michigan college football fans are the same as New York Mets baseball fans. they expect a lot out of their team, even when their team isn't worth talking about.
That's a very, very good point. And Michigan's had some success in the history of college football. And so have the Mets.
And the fan base is absolutely just drive you nuts annoying.
But they've had some success, but they're not. They're not Alabama. They're not SC. They think they are, but they're not.
You're a teal blood. You're not quite a blue blood. You're a teal blood.
Yeah. I mean, Michigan, you can't tell the story of college football without the University of Michigan.
Amen to that.
Can't tell the story of the SEC without Tennessee. But I might slide over to that Ohio State land a little more so, just personally. It's like in the SEC, dude, I'm going to talk to you about Bama. Hell, I might even talk to you about Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
LSU even.
Yeah, but Michigan did just win a national championship, so...
Yeah, I agree.
That is just me being exhausted with the fan base.
The Boston Red Sox of the Big Ten.
Pretty much the same.
Who's crazier than Sean Payton right now? Well, I got no idea. There's Casey over there with sports.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, some NBA free agency news for you as we have the day off from World Cup matches. The Detroit Pistons are trading Karis LeVert and 2 second-round picks to the Milwaukee Bucks for Taurean Prince and Gary Harris. The Memphis Grizzlies are acquiring D'Angelo Russell, a future second-round pick, and a future second-round pick swap from the Washington Wizards. And as a part of a 6-team deal, not including your Portland Trailblazers, the Dallas Mavericks are sending free agent forward Chris Middleton to the Washington Wizards, where Middleton will sign a 3-year, $17.6 million deal to return to Washington. Over to Wimbledon, as both the men and women's singles semifinal brackets are officially set. Tomorrow at 5:30 a.m., Karolina Muchova and betting favorite Coco Gauff will go head-to-head. Later in the morning, Marta Kotsiuk and Linda Noskova will face off. And over in the men's bracket, with matches starting on Friday, Novak Djokovic will go up against defending champion Jannik Sinner, as Arthur Ferry and Alexander Zverev will come out of the other side of the semifinal bracket. Some MLB news for you, as potential Hall of Famer pitcher and oldest active player in the MLB, Justin Verlander, announced that he will retire after the 2026 season. Verlander, at age 43, is a 3-time Cy Young Award winner, winning the AL MVP back in 2011. And finally, over to the WNBA, as your Portland Fire are back in action tomorrow, taking on the Las Vegas Aces inside the Moda. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. as you can catch all of tomorrow's coverage over on 9:10 a.m. when pregame starts at 6:45. And for more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
The home of the Fan Happy Hour.
Closing arguments coming up next to send you on your way. And we got a juicy, because there's a little bit of news out of the NBA that we'll address when we get there. 503-864-6326. This texter, it's a fair point. Obviously, they're not Alabama or Ohio State, but to act like they're not a top 10 program as well. When's the last natty Notre Dame win? Look, it's really hard to win a national championship in college football. There's a reason it's kind of been the same cast of characters for the last 30 years. Basically, since USC, it's kind of the same, 5 people?
And I'm sorry J.J. McCarthy didn't have to throw the ball in that game at all.
And they still won.
Again, if J.J. McCarthy throws the ball, we've seen him throw it. Notre Dame's got a chance if he does.
It's more of like a shot put, I would say. It's more of like a launching of the ball.
And what we've
throwing is a very, very nice way to phrase J.J. McCarthy.
And again, Blake Corum is that guy.
Yeah. I like Notre Dame this year. I think they're going to be good.
I think they're going to be solid.
They got a tough schedule, though. That's what kept them out of the playoff last year.
Mm-hmm.
This is straightforward. Look, would it have been cool to see Notre Dame in instead of one of the 2 G5, G6 teams? Sure, definitely. But you lost to Miami, who made the playoff. You lost to Texas A&M, who made the playoff. Them's are the rules.
Miami made the natty.
And it's not your fault that Boise State fell apart, and that's not a good win anymore.
Miami's playoff run is probably a lot better than what Notre Dame's playoff run would have been.
Fully agree.
Sorry to do it to you.
Have you been keeping tabs on this Sean Payton situation that's going on right now?
I'm seeing little instances of him.
Dudes, there's some weird stuff here. So
I've never been a big Sean Payton guy.
I really was in New Orleans, and I think it was the Bounty Gate stuff that was like, wait a sec, is this guy really unlikable? I think this guy might be really unlikable. And then he gets hired in Denver, and he clashes with Russ, and we all take his side because we just assume Russ is the weirdo.
Again, Russ is a weirdo, but when has Russ ever been unlikable by his teammates?
Oh, I think some of that Legion of Boom got a little fed up with him at the end.
Oh, no, the cornerbacks were pissed that the $100 million quarterback was throwing interceptions.
Holy catfish!
What are we doing, Richard Sherman?
The corners are only like, the only interceptions on this team are for me, not you, me.
I think there was a lot of probably management in that locker room there's a lot of egos in that locker room.
The Broncos had a 4th and 11 on their own 38-yard line in the first possession of overtime against the Buffalo Bills. Sean Payton called a fake punt, and the players audibled at the line and punted. I don't like hearing that. I don't like hearing that at all. We don't think you know what you're talking about, so we're going to take this into our own hands.
And Sean Payton was also the same coach who has the largest point differential in NFL history. That happened 2 years ago. He let up 70 points 2 years ago. 70 burger.
A 70 burger.
No, a 70-point game
that is
got dropped on your forehead.
That is 10 touchdowns.
It's a lot of points, man.
That's a lot of points. Peyton described the fake as, quote, worth the risk. When the alternative was punting the ball to Josh Allen, we had the right look. The reason this is kind of a nothing story is because what happened on the next play or on the next series? Josh Allen threw a pick. They marched down the field, kick a field goal. We're going to the Super Bowl.
Controversial.
Not the Super Bowl, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Again, controversial call, but that's the breaks.
That's not even the weirdest thing I've seen about Sean Payton of late. Sean Payton wanted to hire Bill Belichick to be the head coach, and he would become an assistant and run the offense just so Belichick could pass Don Shula for most wins of all time. Look, I understand you guys are Parcells homies. I get that. That is weird. That's like a man crush that I don't really understand.
I kind of get it, though.
Do you?
What just happened to Bill Belichick this past year that is one of the more egregious things done by the NFL?
Blocking him out, basically. Blacklisting him.
Bill Belichick was not a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Oh, there's that. Yeah. And nobody would interview him for their job.
What's the criteria for a coach to be a Hall of Famer now?
There is none. There is none.
Sean Payton's just advocating for his boy so that he can get a bigger slice of the pie himself.
And maybe this is something he floated out there to make Belichick look good that wouldn't have actually happened. Like you said, just to repair that reputation for him.
I just think of all the coaches that have won Super Bowls during what we call the Patriot Dynasty. all those coaches are like superstars. We hold them in such high regard. From Mike Tomlin, McCarthy gets a lot of love, despite again having the ups and downs that he did with Aaron Rodgers.
I think some of that is Packer fans. They all love their guys.
A lot of love.
Pete Carroll is extremely likable.
Sean Payton's the only coach of the coaches who won during that Brady era who doesn't get the love.
Tony Dungy. Everybody loves Tony Dungy.
Everybody loves Tony Dungy.
Everybody loves Tony. Who are we missing? Who are we missing on this list?
I mean, Sirianni's very loved, even though he started out not loved.
I think outside of Philly, we all question him.
Doug Peterson, who won in Philly, was
absolutely
very loved
at the time.
He was even loved in Jacksonville when he didn't deserve to be loved.
Yeah. Harbaugh. John in Baltimore, loved.
John and Jim, very loved.
Very loved. Even if they rub people the wrong way.
Sean Payton's the only Super Bowl winning coach of, I'd say, the last decade.
Well, him and Belichick.
Belichick gets a lot of love. Despite him being the red ass that he is, he gets a lot of love and support.
That's a fair point. We all I think his shtick gets old, but when you look at the resume, it speaks for itself. That's a fair thing.
And Sean Payton doesn't win that Super Bowl without him taking the risk at kicking the onside kick.
Yeah, dude, I find Tom's Brady very cringy these days, and I kind of don't want him anywhere near my television, but he's Tom Brady. You know?
When he talks, you listen, because if he talks about football, it's the greatest quarterback of all time.
You may
perk up.
You may not like the Manning cast. Peyton Manning's pretty good. He's pretty good at football. I'll listen to what he has to say.
Mm-hmm. Sean Payton doesn't get the love.
Which is so strange because his team, I might pick his team to win the AFC this year.
I might. I don't hate them.
I don't either.
If their offense fires at a much better click than what we saw them before.
Which they should. They added Jalen Waddle.
I think their defense probably will slow down a little bit, but
it's hard to sustain that consistent of a high-end defense. Most defenses that can sustain that high consistency all have names and are all league legends.
Again, they got some names. They got some names.
They do have some names. Adding Jalen Waddle, if Bo is fully healthy, which I assume he will be, I like the Broncos. There's no we might not like Sean Payton, but he's a smart offensive guy.
Mm-hmm.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah. As long as he has a guy who can make the passes, Sean Payton will do well.
And that's Bo Nix. Duck Homer alert, right? Is that me?
Well, that's an Auburn quarterback.
It's time to nut up or shut up.
We'll call him an Auburn quarterback for the sake of arguments. When we come back, closing arguments to send you on your way. 105.1 FM, 1080 AM. That's going to do it for us. Closing Arguments brought to you by Les Skin Law. Visit leskinlaw.com for more information. Coming up on the program tomorrow, we'll see if Danny's healthy enough to come back. If he's not, it might look a little something. I mean, it's 10 toes down on a Thursday no matter what. So we'll do that at 12:15. If Danny's not here, we'll probably get into a little more World Cup preview for France, Morocco tomorrow. I have some college football nuggies to get in here as well. The IOC is starting to have some noise about Russia's participation in the next Olympics. We can get to that, plus some sponsorship deals. KU, rock, chalk, dollar bills, y'all. So it should be a fun show tomorrow. I'm sure if Danny comes back, we'll get into some more Blazers, and we'll probably lead tomorrow with this story that was just tweeted out by Jake Fisher, who tends to be pretty on top of things these days in the NBA, and it is being reported that the New Orleans Pelicans are not interested in shopping Trey Murphy III anymore. That leaves the Blazers in a spot. I don't know how much legs there actually is on the Blazers trying to get Trey Murphy III. I do know it'd be a pretty solid fit in town. But one thing I've noticed listening, especially to Dirt and Sprague in the mornings and what Danny and I do on this show, Blazers are in like a weird cap situation that I wonder if that's probably what kept the Blazers off Trey Murphy. We kind of know it's what kept them off Jaylen Brown. And I wonder if Trey's that same kind of boat, going to get an asset that is that great but makes that much money, could hurt you down the line.
Yeah, you want to protect Denny Avdia at every cost. So,
and I think you're going to want to pay Donovan Clingan too.
Yeah, and if you have anything that threatens Denny Avdia leaving, I think that's where you start to put your guard up a little bit. If the move that I have to make moves anything in the Denny Avdia situation, I think I just have to rest then.
So what do you do if you're the Blazers here? I found a list of ranking the top available players in 2026 NBA free agency still. Matisse Thybulle, they got number 2 on this list. You can bring Matisse Thybulle back. I think if the Blazers were to sign a Matisse Thybulle, you'd be like, wow, nice little grab, because it won't cost you that much. Problem is we have Matisse Thybulle. I've already seen what he can do on this team. He only played 30 games last year. I don't know if that's what you're looking for. Nick Batum, we're not going down that road again.
Always go this route.
You could, and I think it'd be really, really cool. I really do think it would be awesome.
And because we're Portland, and obviously you can't probably get LeBron James, you settle for LeBron James at home. Go get Draymond Green.
Draymond Green is available. I do believe he will re-sign with Golden State. On this list, that's an interesting thought right here. It's Jordan Clarkson.
Just won himself a championship.
Just got himself a title. The 2020-2021 Sixth Man of the Year.
Do you need another guard?
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Can't.
You can't.
You can't.
But he can shoot.
You can't. you just can't with Jordan Clarkson.
Lastly, maybe one for the road here to think about. Jonathan Kuminga.
I love that.
Mount Rushmore himself.
I've talked about it for the past week. I think Jonathan Kuminga would fit perfectly on this roster.
The Lakers are after him pretty tough right now. I don't think the Blazers can afford him. I think that's the problem.
That's the issue.
Yeah. They have Benedict Mathurin on this list. I mean, he's a restricted, but
a little bit too undersized for the need.
Yeah, probably.
Again, I like Mathurin a lot. You can't get a 1 or a 2. You need a 3 or a 4.
I agree.
You need a stretch 3 or a true dyed-in-the-wool 4.
Yeah, I mean, a true 2 might be nice on this team. However, we talked about this earlier today. I've got a true 2 on this team. I can make Damian Lillard a true 2. Have Drew run the offense, put Dame at the 2 guard, and Scoot and Jaw and Shaden can figure it out themselves.
That, or you just don't restrict Jaw and you just say, hey, man, I kind of want to give you the keys, but I can't quite trust you yet. So just prove to me enough that I can trust you so I can give you the keys.
And that's, I think, probably the house money with Jaw, honestly, is it's like, bro, you got to prove it to me.
I want to give Jaw the keys.
I'd be stoked.
I want to give you the keys. I want to build this team around you. I want it to be the Jaw show.
Jaw, Denny, and Donovan, I'm cool with that.
I would love that.
I'm cool with that. And especially if Shaden popped, that'd be great because he's on a team-friendly deal.
But I need to lean on Drew Holiday and Damian Lillard a little more because I can't quite trust that it's Ja yet.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude.
I can't quite trust it.
Yeah, here's the keys to my beater pickup truck. You ain't getting the vet. You could, but not right now.
I know it's sitting there nice in the driveway, and I just waxed it, and it's looking fresh. It hasn't been driven in some time.
Now, this goes back to kind of what I mentioned in the first hour, too. If these are the people that are available, Cam Thomas on this list as well. I know DeMar DeRozan's out there, but we just talked about this. I don't know if we could do that. 6 is a lot. Seeing this list, seeing what's available, I think you're out of cards. I think this is the roster.
Who are available 3s and 4s?
Let's see. Available forwards, NBA.
Because if LeBron, Kuminga, and Draymond are at the top of the list, yeah, you might be looking at the roster.
Right. Let's see here. Centers, get me 2 forwards. Let's see. Oh, boy, this ain't good. LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
Thanasis on Antetokounmpo.
Nope.
Move to the next page. Kelly Olynyk.
We went to the next page after LeBron and Thanasis?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, God, folks. Uh-oh.
Ousmane Dieng. Jeremy Sochan.
I don't hate that, but I don't like that.
Lindy Waters the third. Hey-oh.
Yeah, it's just not a lot of options here.
Jalen Swanson, Jeff Green, Alex Antetokounmpo.
How old is Jeff Green?
I have no idea, dude.
He's got to be 40.
Jeff Green is 39. Dougie Buckets, Dougie McDermott.
Probably too undersized for what we need.
Drew Timmy.
Oh, I do love me some Drew Timmy.
I love me some.
Oh, I do love me some Drew Timmy.
I love Drew Timmy.
But is he an NBA body?
No, God, no. We'll swing around some more on this tomorrow. The MLB slate for tonight, if you know me, I just go based on pitching. Game that just went underway is Dylan Cease versus Logan Webb, Toronto at San Francisco. That's a nice pitching matchup. The prime video of the night is your Yankees at Tampa Bay. That's Garrett Cole against Shane McClanahan. That'll be a fun pitching matchup.
Need to get back in within 5 games.
You Mariner fans are throwing George Kirby this evening, or this afternoon, I should say, on the road at Miami. Spencer Arrighetti versus Foster Griffin. That's Houston at Washington. That's a sneaky little matchup. Chase Burns on the bump for Cincinnati tonight. Davis Martin on the bump for Chicago. Mackenzie Gore on the bump tonight for Texas. Roki Sasaki in the night game for the Dodgers. Michael King as well throwing tonight. If you need a little baseball. I don't know what I'm going to do tonight. Might sit this one out. Maybe I'll put the Dodgers on late. Maybe I'll put the Padres on late. Because that would work for me, right?
I need Anthony Volpe to not play tonight.
I don't think you're going to get me on that Yankee game tonight at all. All right, closing arguments brought to you by Leskin Law. Visit leskinlaw.com for more information. Leskin Law's one-day divorce mediation, peace treaties, not war plans. We'll see if Danny's back tomorrow, but you know why I will be. For Casey Smith, I'm Patrick Harris. Go do something I would do.